All right, welcome back, everyone out there. Thank you so much for tuning in for another week of the BSL. We're finishing the round of 16 today, which is crazy to me because it feels like the BSL just started. So I'm Rapid. With me is Nyoka. Nyoka, what do you think about us ending off the round of 16 like this?
Yeah, this is a good group to end on. We've got 3 Zergs and our boy Dienmax in our last 4 players. And we've got the winner of last season, trutaCz, seeing if he can keep going. He's got a tough lineup to face, though. Babo and CastrO standing in his way along with DMX. So it's going to be an exciting group.
Yeah, every other group had a Peruvian player make it out of it. And now we have 2 Peruvian players here. So Babo and trutaCz are in trouble, man, because the Peruvians have to make it out. I don't know. But for CastrO, Dienmax, and Babo, I think we'll have a similar situation as we did in Group C that we had yesterday, where there's one clear favorite and then everybody else fighting for second place. Because trutaCz is the truth. He is so good, champion of last season. He's maybe the best or second best. I don't know. Between trutaCz and Eon Zerg, it's hard to pick the best non-Korean Zerg out there because they're just so good. I cannot wait to watch this. This is going to be so sick. Plus, we have lots and lots of ZVZs, so it might be a fast night. But also, like you said, DMX or Dienmax, however you want to say it, he's still pretty good, and so definitely can't count out him, CastrO, or Babo. But for sure, trutaCz, he's strapping on the Bat booster rockets to his body and getting ready to blast onto the round of 8.
Yeah, and we already had one of Poland's royalty make it out yesterday with Bonnet, and I was looking at the group or the bracket, and whoever gets out in first is going to be facing Terror, and whoever gets out in second is going to be facing Eon Zerg. So whoever gets out, they're going to have a tough opponent in the round of 8. Personally, I want to see trutaCz make it out second, because then we have Eon Zerg, trutaCz, and trutaCz, Eon Zerg. Every time I see them play, it's really, really close. But yeah, this is going to be an exciting group.
Yeah, I actually also want to see trutaCz make it out in second to play Eon Zerg. But actually, if he makes it out in first, then trutaCz and Eon Zerg could make it all the way to the finals and meet in the finals. Also, trutaCz and Bonnet could make it to the finals, and that would be a rematch of last season's epic finals. That was such a good final. So also, I'd just like to point out that when we talk about the players that have already qualified for the round of 8, the only country that has 2 players in the round of 8 is America. So a shout out to Jaeyoon and Tai2 for making it there. Also a big shout out to Jaeyoon and Tai2 because as you guys were telling me earlier, they were first and second place in the LA LAN that just happened yesterday. So congratulations, those guys are killing it right now. But also the players in this group are going to be killing it too. So I'm actually excited to start this off. If you guys are new to BSL or you're tuning in because your friend Double Dog dared you, well, you picked a good day to tune in. Because starting things off, we have trutaCz, who's a member of the very famous Polish Brood War clan Net Wars, and then also Babo, who is, of course, playing for IRK, but also a fine representative of South America from Chile. And even though he has made the round of 16 very consistently, this time around, it's going to be a little bit harder for him to break that round of 16 barrier that he's had before.
Yeah, so our first map is going to be Gladiator. I'm ready to start it off if you're ready.
I'm so ready, dude. Let's do it. Gladiator, game number 1 of our first series, of our last series in the round of 16. It's trutaCz versus Babo. All right, here we go in the upper, I'm getting this right, left hand, got it, nailed it, so successful. In the upper left-hand corner in the green, playing Zerg, this is Babo.
And in this weird bluish gray color, we've got the Polish Zerg. He's our last winner of BSL. It is trutaCz.
Ooh.
So do you think we're going to see any more management-based build in ZVZ? We saw Tai2 go for that. We saw Jaeyoon yesterday on Ground Zero go for that. I wonder if either of these players watched those games and thought, well, hey, I can play like that. I don't need to be aggressive.
That's a really cool style. I really like that. Still not sold on these in-base hatcheries that we're seeing out there. I don't know about that. But I do think that management style that you're talking about is really cool to watch. I had a lot of fun. But at the same time, like the closer and closer we get to having a Hive-Tech ZVZ, the more and more I just want to see it all the time. Do I think that's going to happen this series? Absolutely not. I think trutaCz is going to eat Babo alive. And I'm not saying that as a biased commentator. I'm saying that because I've watched more than one trutaCz game, which is all it takes to know this guy's a monster. So let's see how this is going to shake out. Looks like, what are we having here as far as builds are concerned? Looks like a 12 hatch coming out of trutaCz, if I'm not mistaken.
You've got trutaCz going for an overpool, but it's with gas first, and then Babo also doing very similar build. A little bit different. He got gas even faster, but
yeah,
we haven't seen this, I don't think, all season long, but both players are going to get a lot of gas pretty fast. Not a big differential right now. Babo with an 8 gas lead, but Babo is one of the best players with his Muta play. I'm not convinced that trutaCz is a clear favorite in this specific matchup, but all the games I've watched of trutaCz, I'm not sure what he thinks his best matchup is, but I think his Zerg versus Zerg is probably his best matchup.
I would definitely agree. I'm glad you're here to dampen my rampant trutaCz fanboyism, because I'm just going to predict him in every matchup, and we'll see how he does. But I would say that because they're both going very similar builds, it's going to work out pretty evenly. Now, there's a main deviation finally in that Babo is getting Ling speed, whereas trutaCz is opting to kind of skip that, save that gas up for mutas later on.
Yeah, so he's going to have a slight gas advantage. Let's see how Babo wants to use these Lings. We already saw yesterday Jaeyoon. Yep, there we go. trutaCz is going to put Lings at the bottom of his ramp just like Jaeyoon, try and trade as effective as possible. And trutaCz has a lot of money. Oh, there is the in-base hatch. Rapid.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Dude, I don't know. Also, I think usually when I see in-base hatcheries, they come up pretty quickly. Not at like a 12 hatch timing, but they also like aren't usually this late, like when the layer is almost about to pop. So yeah, I don't know, dude, because ideally you want to have your in-base hatchery there as a macro hatch for mutas without it being vulnerable. So the reason that you would do this is to say, I want to win the muta battle, but I don't want to risk losing my hatchery. So it's cool, but it also doesn't give you any extra economy while costing a drone, which is very valuable. You can see somehow trutaCz is up in drones by 2, which is crazy to me. I don't know how that happened, because he also sacked a drone to make this hatchery, which also costs 300 more minerals.
And look at this. Babo's running these Lings around, trying to hide them, but the Overlord's in a position where I think he would just see everything. But if Babo wants to attack, he needs to go probably now, because look at what trutaCz made another drone. Look at what he has right now. He has 6 Lings. Babo has 15 Lings. It's go time.
Dude, I don't understand how trutaCz is playing this, because he's being so greedy. Because not only did he get an extra hatchery, he has like 3-4 more drones, which is also crazy. And his Spire is almost done. So it's like he got to this place, which is almost the same place Zergs just all try to get to, but he did it with an extra hatchery and with 3 extra drones. So I'm like, okay, dude. I mean, yes, I would also like to get to this place as well. So he is really going to be killing it. Although I will say that he's not going to have maximum larva for when the Spire pops. Because usually you'd want 6, right? But he just had to build 3 more Overlords, 2 more Overlords. So that obviously kind of sucks.
Yeah, here comes Babo, and I don't think he can even believe what he's seeing. This guy has 6 Lings. This is just so ridiculous. You can tell that he can't believe it, because he left half of his army back at his base. Here he comes. He's going to try and bust down, but there's a lot of Lings, but the mutas, will they get out in time? I just realized trutaCz also has a Sunken, so he's going to be completely safe.
Yeah, he's going to have to run his drones around a little bit. Maybe he loses a drone, but that's totally okay, because he was already up a bunch of drones. The Lings all die, and the mutas are out, so congratulations, Babo. You spent all that money, all that time, all that larva on Lings that did nothing.
Well, yesterday we had a similar fight with Crossy and Jaeyoon. We've got 4 mutas versus 3. There's Scourge advantage. Oh, Babo, don't. He doesn't notice. What are those Scourge doing? Okay, one lands.
Dude, Scourge are the dumbest units. Holy cow, it's unreal how much dumber they are than just all the other units. Trying to micro against that Scourge, pushes it back, but it's still alive. It actually does land. It pops on one of the mutas, and actually, we have more mutas here for trutaCz. I'm pretty sure he's just bopping this. Is he? I can't tell. It's all, okay, yeah, it's all trutaCz all the time. That's it. Babo taps out. trutaCz with the big brain builds. What a god.
That was probably the greediest ZVZ opening I've ever seen. That's absurd. Just build 6 lanes, that's it?
Also, it's also absurd that not only, like, the only thing more greedier than that is, like, 3 hatch before pool or something, like the dumbest build. But trutaCz has found this really weird way. I mean, I guess if you have that read, that was like a soul read, right, on Babo saying this guy is not going to go kill me. But when I think about watching Babo's games, I'm pretty sure he goes and kills people. So I don't know what trutaCz knew that we didn't, but damn, what a game.
Yeah, and both of his Scourge hit different mutas. They were maximum effective, and anytime a Scourge lane, it just changes the tide of the fight so hard because it just takes one hit and one splash to kill the hurt muta. So, I don't know, that hurts as Babo. I think he can definitely recover though, but that was like a convincing. That's not how you want to start off the series, Rapid.
Oh, for sure. No, that is. I just got done watching the finals of the GSL Starcraft 2 Super Tournament. Same thing. Game 1 lasted about 2.5 minutes. Failed proxy attempt, and it was over. I'm just like, well, for the rest of the series, the player that lost that way was totally tilted, out of control. You lose that way, and you're Babo, and you're just like, wait, I didn't get to do anything that game. I didn't get to play StarCraft. So hopefully Game 2 goes a little bit differently. It's going to be on the National Patriotic BSL map, Power Bond. So if you guys just can't get enough Power Bond, we're coming back to you next season. This will be called the PBSL for Power Bond Star League. Because this is just the only map that we play. But that's going to be our second map here. So let's get into it and see if, in fact, Babo can come back or get to do anything, or if trutaCz, like I said, is going to boost the rocket on to the round of 8. So let's do it. Game number 2 on Power Bond. All right, here we go. The map is Power Bond, and in the upper left-hand corner, in the Cobalt, is our Polish Zerg player, trutaCz.
In the bottom middle, repping the magenta color, it is Babo. And I wonder what the mindset is, well, for both of these players, but if I was to be in trutaCz's shoes, I would think that Babo, seeing that I only built 6 lings, I would probably expect this guy to mass ling me now. So whatever the counter is to mass ling, that's what I would be going for.
Yeah, I'm expecting like a 10 hatch or something to just get the lings out there. Like, I would say for Babo, I actually like him playing that style. He's a great aggressive player, at least from what we saw in the round of 24. So more power to him. But for trutaCz, I totally agree, Nyoken. I think you just need to not die. And I feel like trutaCz, Eon Zerg, and then who else is... There's a Terran player that made it pretty far. Maybe it was Koget. I don't remember. I feel like people kill themselves on good players because they try to do something really aggressive, and the good player is so good that they just hold it off. Flash has this happen to him all the time. He's so good at holding off cheese with SCVs. That's why his SCVs are so good, because he just has to use them because players cheese him because they don't want to play a macro game. I would not want to play a macro game against trutaCz. This guy's so good. So maybe Babo's got other things in mind. Once again, trutaCz building those drones, Nyoken. Haven't seen... Okay, there it is. All right, spawning pool coming down on 12.
Yep, so 12 pool for trutaCz, and as expected, we're going to be quite aggressive from Babo's point of view. This is a 9 pool with gas. Already liking trutaCz's position a lot, but Babo at least is going to find trutaCz first, so that's going to be great for him. He's definitely going to see trutaCz exactly what's going on from him. He's not going to be able to just build 6 lings and power to infinity. Actually, this drone comes in, and if he sees the Overlord, will he change his hatchery position? No, he still goes for it. So Babo's going to have window of opportunity to get some damage done at this natural.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if there's any game that's ripe for an in-base hatchery, it might be this one, because giving your opponent the opportunity to cancel your natural expansion, like, I mean, I would not want to do that against a player I know I'm not scouting first. So Babo actually has a lot of extra information here, because scouting first in ZVZ when your opponent doesn't, huge advantage, because now he's going to get a chance to see everything, all the timings. It's all his. And he knows that his opponent just doesn't have anything. So, I mean, granted, there's lings popping out, but the lings coming in faster for Babo. Let's see how much of a difference this makes. Because I guess they do actually have equal ling numbers.
Yeah, power of 12 pool. Going to have the extra hatch. Going to have equal ling count. And Babo didn't go for speed. trutaCz is going to have the speed advantage by just... Well, he just started.
They're both almost exactly the same for speed.
Yeah, they are pretty close, but I guess what I meant was Babo went for lair first. This is not speed first,
yeah.
So his lair is way far along. So trutaCz is the one that is actually going to mass ling here. And, well, he's gotten a lair, and I just remembered that he doesn't have vision into Babo's main. I was going to say that we might have that evolution chamber style, but now he's going to come in here and see exactly what Babo's doing. But yeah, trutaCz is actually going to be the one getting aggressive with these lings.
I mean, Spire just now started here for Babo before trutaCz's lair is even done. It's not going to be done for a while. So, yeah, Babo's going to be faster to mutas by quite a bit. So I'm excited to see what this looks like, because last time it felt like trutaCz's mutas came out first. So this time the shoe is kind of on the other foot. But trutaCz built a lot more than just 6 lings this game, Nyoken. So he gets to be a little aggressive now that speed's done.
Yeah, but here he comes. This is 12 lings. He left a couple back. He's going to actually find Babo's... Oh, I thought they were hiding and trying to run around, but nope. They're just going to come back to the ramp, and here we go. This is not the arc that trutaCz wants.
Oh, it's hard to get your lings in an arc when you have to group select them and move them around, but Babo will be able to kind of Oh, no! How did he do that? What? What? Impossible. I've seen it all.
Yeah, he gets in, and Babo was so worried about massling, he even has a fast sunken colony. Meanwhile, trutaCz is going for the evolution chamber, and actually trutaCz is building tons of non-stop lings. I'm a little surprised, because Babo had... Is he coming down?
No. Yeah, okay, that would be a bad idea. At this point, just try to stabilize. You know your opponent's going to be flooding you. How does trutaCz get lings past a ramp like that? I don't understand.
He has so many lings left over, and this Spire is way out in no man's land. He can get full surround. Babo, no! This is gonna go down.
Even with the mutas popping out, the lings deal so much damage. The Spire lives with 68 HP.
I can't believe that thing lived. It was getting bursted so quickly, but okay, here we go. Round 2, 8 lings.
Yeah.
Is he just gonna dive on it? But even if he gets the Spire... Even if he gets the Spire, he's lost so many lings now. Can't Babo just counterattack?
You know, I think, how many mutas is he going to have total? 6 mutas, I believe, because there's 2 more in these eggs. Yeah, so he's going to have a total of 6 once they all get back together. How many mutas does trutaCz have? The answer is 0.
Yeah, a big fat 0, because he's having to build all these...
Hey, don't talk about 0 that way.
Oh, man,
He's in shape these days. It was only for a little bit. Anyway, jokes aside, you're right. He just doesn't have any, but he does have quite a few spores.
Yeah, and this is the move that I was expecting Tai2 to do every single time. Just put those mutas over the ramp, allow your lings to get in. Luckily for trutaCz, it's only 2 lings. If it was something like 5 or 6, this would be devastating, but we've got another counterattack. trutaCz knows that all of the mutas are across the map. We've got a drone cycle, and look how exposed this Spire is again.
Oh my god, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. The madman. He does it once, he does it again. A cancel, but still no Spires allowed for you, and now a Spire started for trutaCz, who may be able to leapfrog Babo in the muta count.
Second Spire going down. Even though the Spires are going to be matching now, Babo has an overwhelming amount of gas advantage. He's already built 6 mutas. So as long as he doesn't bleed them off to Scourge or Spore or something, I'm still liking his position quite a lot. But trutaCz does have his Nat up and running. He's identified that he can now start droning, which is a good sign for him. He's going to be powering extremely hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Babo taking his natural. I was waiting for him to go down there and take that natural, because he needs to get the larva.
Yeah, Larva, and I mean, trutaCz is still not taking his natural gas, which I think would kind of slingshot him ahead in the gas count. He's just now taking it. So that is actually kind of a big deal, because if he starts mining from that natural gas really quickly, then he might be able to use the defense that the spores allow him to have, along with the higher gas value, to be able to, mass produce these mutas out there. Yeah, he is actually building mostly Scourge, though, while he affords his +1 Carapace. So I guess that's something that he'll be working on, more of like a turtley tech route than trying to play that muta game.
We've got another big swell of Lings from trutaCz. He showed himself to the Overlord, but he's got Lings hidden out on the other side of the map. So this may be a diversion. As soon as these get found, yep, there he goes. Now he sends them in. Scourge now have to deal with these mutas. Can the mutas micro it? Oh, really nice control right there.
Yeah, he's trying to split the Scourge so that they can come in from different angles, but they're really dumb. Now, a couple of them actually do land there, so at the end of the day, it's 4.1 mutas left over.
Yeah, he actually got 3 connections there, took out 1 muta and damaged another, but still Babo has 8 mutas standing. Getting a look at trutaCz. He doesn't have any mutas just yet, but his econ is crazy. He's got half or 1.5 more times drones as Babo, and Babo's natural just coming up, so he doesn't have access to the gas just yet.
Yeah.
But he still does have quite an advantage on the mutas, and surprisingly, he's actually going for +1 weapon. Yesterday, we saw +1 armor just be massive in the Jayun Crossy series. I wonder why he got weapon this time.
I think so. For weapons, that means you're going to try to dive the spores, and so I think what he's going to try to do is maybe run in and dive the spores, because the only muta weapons in a ZVZ is the worst upgrade for sure. Like armor just does so much more. So I think that's what it's for. It's so that he can kill off the stationary static defense. But we'll see. Because Babo hasn't done anything with his mutas so far. Maybe the Scourge kept him at bay, but more than anything, he's just been kind of scared. So finally he's going to come in, a little bit of an anti-timing, snipes a drone, that's nice, but does he want to fight this? I think the answer is yes. You just have to stay out of range of that spore.
Yeah, he definitely wants to fight it. It's 11 versus 7. I'm surprised trutaCz wants to fight this, because his +1 armor is getting close to finish. Meanwhile, we have a Ling counterattack, doesn't get anything done, and now Babo's got a pretty sizable army advantage. Muta lead, Ling lead. Lings can just run into the main while the mutas do work at the natural, and we might see a complete drone wipe.
Yeah, I love how you talk about the army advantage, but then the supply is actually pretty close, because trutaCz has like 7 more drones, 6 more drones to be exact. So his econ lead is pretty big, but look at this. They're both players with upgrades that are about to finish, fighting over the spore. The spore goes down, and that means it's just muta on muta action. Falling back to that secondary spore, but now no more mining from the natural for trutaCz.
Well, Babo just lost tons of mutas. I don't know how that happened, but now he's at 6. And trutaCz has 11, and he's going to have +1 armor, which is the better upgrade. It just kicked in, and Babo, you don't want to fight this anymore. You got to run back home, dude.
Yeah, he's going to get oh no, there's a misrallied muta. That's actually huge. Now trutaCz has a full control group of +1 carapace mutas against Babo, who has 7 partially wounded +1 weapon mutas.
Yeah, and
now trutaCz is getting +1 weapons of his own.
Yeah, and we were just talking about how the supplies were close. Well, now they're completely lopsided. trutaCz in the main now wiping drones, and now he's just going to, I imagine he wants to fight this. He's got so many more mutas. He's just going to stand and fight, and trutaCz is 100% going to win this game. Scourge even coming in to seal the deal.
Damn. I feel like trutaCz is like Neo when he sees the Matrix through code. Like, he just gets it. Whatever it is, that's what he gets. trutaCz, what a god. Like, such a weird game. I mean, I guess it's not weird when you think about playing that style of spores versus mutas, but the way he was able to cancel the Spire twice, get those Lings in the base over and over again. Every Zerg player in the world wishes they could do that, but almost none of them can. So trutaCz, and making magic happen, is going to 2-0 his way on to the winner's match. Wow, that was such a crazy series.
Yeah, that was painful from Babo's point of view. The first game, trutaCz gets away with murder. Second game, I liked our position. Yet Lings, how do they get up that ramp? I don't even know. I look It's a complete wall. I look back, Lings are in the main. What? Just a disaster. So hopefully Babo can get it together in his next matchup. But now we're going to be going up into our ZVP, which with a macro king, we saw Crossy macro like a god yesterday. CastrO can definitely macro. This guy's crazy. He's going to be going up against Dienmax.
Yeah, I don't know how to predict that series. That's actually a little bit harder. Might go all the way. We're going to see some really interesting games no matter what. That's almost guaranteed. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Their second best of 3 in the last group in the round of 16. Yeah, this was like falling over. Oh, we're back. Surprise. Welcome back to the BSL. We are one game, or one best of 3, one series through the round of 16's final Group D. And what a series it was. trutaCz, kind of the favorite of this group, blasted his way out 2-0, two very quick series. Now we're moving on to what should actually be a pretty close series, honestly. I don't know what to expect, but we have two of our South American representatives going head-to-head. And we're going to get a chance to watch, I guess, CastrO and Dienmax play. So both fantastic Peruvian players, but I don't know how to predict this. What do you think is going to happen here, Nyoken?
Yeah, I don't ever play Dienmax. Protoss versus Zerg. I don't watch him Protoss versus Zerg, so I'm not quite too sure of how he plays in that specific matchup. I know in Protoss versus Terran, he's either hit or miss. When he's on, I'm like, okay, can this guy be beaten? He just is really good. And then CastrO, every time I play him, he just take bases all over the map. He's like Jaeyoon. We've seen him in ZVP do the same thing, just build 10 hatches, macros like a king. So I think we're just going to have a big macro slugfest because that's generally how Dienmax plays versus me. But honestly, I don't know how his Protoss versus Zerg stands up right now.
Well, there's only one way to find out now, isn't it? That's my segue. We're going to get into the next game as soon as I remember to get into the next game. Because apparently I've not done that. We all get one, okay, guys? You guys aren't in the next game either, so cool it. Here we go. All right, I've joined the lobby. It's time. Our maps are going to be Gladiator, Sylphid, and Ground Zero, and Power Bond. I'm going to put that in as the fourth map in this best of 3 series. But let's start things out on Gladiator. It's going to be a Protoss versus Zerg between Dienmax and CastrO. Best of 3 to advance on to face trutaCz in the winner's match. So let's go. All right, here we go. Second series of the day, and starting in the bottom right in the, I guess this is magenta. This is CastrO.
And in the top right, we've got the dark blue Protoss. It is Dienmax. When I play Dienmax on the ladder, generally he goes for some type of opener that gives him a slight early game lead, and then he techs into carriers. Now, obviously we're not going to see carriers in Protoss versus Zerg, but he may go in with the same idea where he wants to get an early game advantage, then try, instead of teching so hard, maybe take a lot of bases, and that would probably be one of the best styles you can go for versus CastrO, because this guy's going to expand a lot, so you're going to need to match the bases versus him.
Yeah, I think for CastrO, I usually characterize him as maybe the more, I don't know, not macro focused, but you're right, he does like to expand a lot. So let's keep an eye on what the openings are going to be. Should just see an overpool out of CastrO. Yeah, no surprise there.
Yeah, but Dienmax is doing what I've been waiting to see if anybody else is going to do. He sends out a second probe really quick to the natural. This is going to be, I'm shocked that that's a forge. I thought for sure sending this probe so fast, it was going to be a gate. But we have to remember that these players are both from South America. It's likely they play versus each other. So there may be some type of, I guess, back and forth between them, or knowledge that Dienmax has that we don't. And maybe CastrO actually likes the cheese specifically versus him. So this is an interesting opener to go for the forge, despite sending out that second probe so fast.
Yeah, now I was a little bit confused there too, but we are going to have a pretty fast Nexus here. I don't think that he's scouted anything that should make him crazy, but what is this pylon doing on the other side of the map?
Yeah, we've got a pylon block. CastrO doesn't care. He just puts it at the low ground. This is something yesterday that I thought Ghostudark was going to do, but he just was content with sitting in the main, getting more intel as opposed to blocking. So already we're seeing differing styles. Dienmax definitely wants to block the hatch, but because it's Gladiator, not a big deal to just take the low ground base. Now, how fast is the gas going to be for CastrO? We're at 230 so far, no gas. We'll have to wait and see his timing. And Nexus just goes up.
Yeah, one thing I've seen is that you do the pylon block, but you let it finish. And Tasteless was telling me about this very, very tasteless build where you let the pylon block finish, and then you cannon at the top of the ramp. And obviously, it's very difficult to break up a ramp against cannons. But and then you go cannon rush the third base to force a cancel there too. And this is the essentially the total strategy for Tasteless in all situations. Just like how and where do I build my cannon? But at least in this situation, we are not going to see any of that. And so thankfully, that will be because Dienmax is doing a good build.
Tasteless indeed loves his cannons, but Dienmax needs to get up a second cannon because CastrO hid 4 links and he swooped around and the probe didn't see it. This is a free win for him right now if he goes. There was no probe in position. Now he's going to go, a little bit of an anti-tie. Oh, there's a gap at the top.
What's not a tie wall? He actually didn't commit with the rest of his lings because the probe was still blocking them. The cannon still goes down. The probe goes down. The pylon, give you a hint, it's going to go down. So, well, Mr. Zealot's going to pop out of this gateway just barely in time. But I think these Zerglings are still going to be able to get at least one probe and maybe run into the main.
I thought for sure that was a complete wall at the top. You can definitely tell that Dienmax expected that, but now he's got lings into the main. They've gotten like 3 probes now. How much damage can he get done? CastrO back at his base. He has a hydrogen going down. Now the probe was out on the map. I don't know what happened to it. I assume it just died, but we don't know if he got a glimpse into the main. Did he see that the hydrogen actually started? We don't know yet, but CastrO's following up this aggression with even more aggression, and Dienmax is in a world of trouble because cybernetics hasn't even started. Our econs or our mineral income is really low. We've got 3 probes pulled off at the natural.
Wow, I am so scared. That pylon at the front, this is like when you did something good in NBA Jam. He's on fire. I can't believe this pylon is so low. Thankfully, it regains shields, but I mean, shields take full damage. So Hydra Boys, they're coming. And I think at this point, Dienmax probably knows that he's so vulnerable that he's got to worry about that. But he still only has 1 cannon at the front. So let's see if this second probe or third probe, I guess, out on the map can scout what it needs to show Dienmax that he probably needs to be a little worried.
Yeah, Dienmax is in a very tough spot. He needs to tech because the only way you can match the Zerg is by teching up to Citadel. Luckily, this probe that I thought was going to scout nothing saw a Hydra pop out, and that's going to already give it away that CastrO is going for some type of Hydra aggression. And now Dienmax will be able to spam out those cannons. Now he just needs to gauge how many cannons does he need. Is it 5? Is it 6? Is 3 enough? We still don't know how committed CastrO is to this Hydra bust.
I would say that, 3 cannons is a nice entry-level number of cannons, but let's see. I agree. I'm also kind of interested to see what the final number of Hydras is, because if you spam them and when you only see like 5, I think the number is like 5 Hydras, then they can just like max drones again behind it, and you don't know if it's a fake or not. But this is pretty real. More Overlords on the way. Hydra speed about halfway done. It's a pretty close distance between these 2 bases, and already the Forge and the Gateway taking fire.
Yeah, probe got in, did get a glimpse into the main, saw no lair, sees that more Hydras have been pumped out. So he is building 5 cannons this time. He's got Citadel instantly, no Stargate. This is exactly what Dienmax needs to do, but he's got to get his Templar Archive up pretty soon because these Hydras are getting very high in number. Forge is going to go down, Gateway is going to go down, and he's got a lot of lings which can buffer a decent amount of the cannon shots. CastrO may just be able to end it.
Yeah, he does definitely need way more cannons at this point. He's only got 3, 4, 5. I mean, the 4th and 5th are way up there, so maybe they won't come into play here. More and more Hydras. Actually, no, he's not rallying more and more Hydras across the map. He is actually just chilling on the Hydra count, maxing on drones, getting a 4th hatchery up behind this. But that's still quite a scary number of Hydralists.
Yeah, this Zealot got in. Oh, here comes CastrO. He's going to try and bust it, but this is 6 cannons. Yeah, he needs to back off. Dienmax got a Zealot into the natural, and unfortunately, we see that CastrO's making drones, but at the time the Zealot went in, 4 Hydras popped out. So Dienmax actually thinks CastrO's continuing to bust, but we see that he's powering really hard, and you can see Dienmax is respecting the bust. And meanwhile, CastrO, he's taking a 4th base even. I forgot he's already got his mineral only.
Yeah. No, he already has that, and so he's on a 4th base, and this is a little ahead of schedule because he knows he's so safe behind this. Now, if you're DMX, you have to, A, build useless cannons because he doesn't need to build anymore, B, he's going to have to get Storm and Templar and everything to bust out because he's, soft contained in his main. And okay, he actually does cancel one of those cannons warping in. So that's actually a really good read for DMX.
Yeah, and Dienmax or CastrO setting up to take a 5th base at mid left. This guy, he just wants every base on the map. He's got 6 hatches any moment now once that goes up. I do like Dienmax's build. He instantly got his Templar Archive up pretty quickly. He's got a Templar already out, banking a bunch of energy. He's got a Stargate, which is quite interesting. I guess he's worried about a Muta switch. It's been so long that he's able to get into the main, so I don't mind the Stargate switch, but I wonder what he's going to go for. Are we just going to go for a Han Bang with mass Archons, or is it going to be a lot of Storm? What is he actually going to go for?
There was, for a while, there was this really slick Zealot Speed Archon build that Rain used to go for when he could fool his Zerg opponent into thinking that it was going to be the standard Gateway Man plus High Templar kind of push that Protoss is due to take a 3rd. But this isn't that. And also, we do have to worry about, obviously the Lurker follow-up coming through, because Observers are going to be in a premium at this point.
Yeah, Lurker aspect, 50% done. CastrO started +1 weapon on his Hydras. Meanwhile, Dienmax has not started +1 at all, and Protoss falling behind in upgrades versus Zerg. That's going to be extremely painful. But it's already painful because once the Lurkers come out, how do you get outside of your base as Dienmax? And by the time you get out, we already see CastrO has started taking the left side. He's probably going to have the entirety of the left side. So really, Dienmax, he's on a clock to get out of his base, but I just don't know if he can get out.
If he does bust out and CastrO is under-defended, then there's a chance that DMX can just run straight to the 3rd base and, bowl it over. But something tells me that, it seems like DMX is just killing it. He's crushing the economy. He almost has the same number of drones as the workers as the Protoss player. So that is, maybe something that should not happen there. And similar to when we were watching Crossy play yesterday, I have a feeling the supply count is not going to be in the Protoss favor very often. So gets not very good storms, honestly, but does actually clear out most of the Zerg outside of the natural. So now DMX can start to be thinking about, okay, how do I get this 3rd base up? And luckily, because of the spawn locations, it's going to be even farther away. Now that's a good storm, taking out most of the Hydras at the front.
This move out, sure, it didn't kill much for the Zerg. It did clear a bunch of space, so it allowed the probe to sneak out. He's taking a 3rd base, which is exactly what he needs. He needs some type of sneaky move to get back into this game. He's got his robotics almost done. Ooh, we're spamming DTs. Not just 3, not just 4. This is like 5 or 6 DTs. Where do they want to go? There's no Overlord. He has no idea that this is happening. There, I'm looking at the left side. There's no Overlord there. At bottom middle, there's no Overlord there. And Zealots are going to make it crazy because they're streaming across the map. We may even see a DT drop into the main. The Robo is building a shuttle.
Dude, this is going to be so good. I have a feeling, and I really want, there's this really sick, oh man, I'll never forget. There's a highlight video of Bisu doing this where he'll set 5 DTs just in position, and then he'll send all of them in all at the same time. And you know how hard it is to make sure that you're defending 5 separate bases from DTs running in? So crazy. For example, there's no Overlord at this far base at the 8 o'clock location. There's no Overlord at this base that Zealots are killing down at the 6 o'clock location. So that base is pretty dead if he focus fires it. And yeah, there it is. So the Zealots get a nice hatchery kill. They're probably going to get a few extra bonus ones. There's also no Overlords at the 6 o'clock base, the other 6 o'clock base, the 5:30 base, if you want to call it that. There's also no Overlords, it's a common trend, at the main base. So there's just plenty of real estate for these DTs to get damage done.
Yeah, I think DMX may actually come back into this game. Here comes that shuttle to the main. The Hydra does see it, but does he really see it? Like you said, there's nothing in the main, no Overlords, no sunken. Oh, he did see it. He's instantly pulling drones, but where are the Overlords? I don't see them any. They're all at the bottom middle base. Meanwhile, we do have a counterattack, but we've got Storm available. We've got a lot of cannons, remember? And CastrO still doesn't know about top middle.
Oh, look at this. The DTs are coming through, but they can actually get into some of these like hard to reach locations. It's only Zerglings, and DTs are not actually that bad against Zerglings in low numbers. Now, the Hydras are going to be able to actually deal quite a bit of damage here, but the DTs should survive at least in some form or fashion. Actually, no, they're going to run themselves into a corner and all die, so that was actually a lot easier for CastrO to clean up than I expected. I thought he was going to split the DTs to different locations.
Yeah, I thought he was going to split them up also, and these 2 DTs he has at the front, I thought for sure while that was happening he's going to send it to mid-left, but not the case, and actually CastrO's a little worried about an incoming push, so he backs off, leaves 1 lurker for a little bit of damage, but Dienmax still top middle unscout, and he's feeling so confident in his current state, he's going to take another hidden expansion to top left, and CastrO, he's powering extremely hard. He's got double evolution chamber. I saw he upgraded drops. Also, he's got his queen's nest. He's building hatcheries all over the place. He's building a ton of sunkens. But I do think he needs to start building a bit of units because Dienmax is starting to get big.
Yeah, CastrO with the supply lead, which is in general not supposed to happen. Usually, the Protoss is supposed to stay up in that regard. But also, Protoss should be... Okay, yeah, he is expanding to the upper left-hand corner. So, both players trying to take their half of the map, and there are ways where Gladiator can get split in two. The only problem is that I feel like for Dienmax, he does need to kind of get out on the map and do something, because you just can't let CastrO macro forever. It's not going to be fun, I promise.
Yeah, CastrO's starting Hive, and once his Hive kicks in with double upgrades with 10 hatches, he's just going to be a nightmare to deal with. And we're waiting for CastrO to unload this drop that he has sitting outside of the natural of Dienmax. As soon as Dienmax just shows himself, there he goes. There goes that drop. How many probes is he going to get? Oh, instant reaction. Very nicely done from Dienmax.
Wow.
For sure, he's going to lose a ton there. But here comes Dienmax trying to bust through these sunkens. There's a lot of lurkers, though. I don't know how well this is going to pan out for him.
Needs another storm on those Lings killing the Archon. A lot of times you can use the morphing Archon as storm bait, but actually killing off all of those Lings, there's not that much army left here for CastrO, at least in fighting location. Those lurkers are still denying mining in the main. Finally, an observer gets over there, but there's not actually all that much there to kill off the lurker. Main and natural, no mining in either place.
Yeah, and all this is doing is just buying CastrO the time he needs to get up all those important upgrades. He started +2 on his evolution chambers. Adrenaline is halfway done. He's got all of his econ kicking in. He's got basically even amounts of workers. And that lurker, is it just really just going to escape to top middle?
No way. The little lurker that could. Aww. The tale is old as time.
Based on how short that attack was from the goon, I am a little worried that maybe Dienmax missed range, because I thought for sure those Dragoons were just going to kill it. So that may be... Whoa, what's this? I just looked in the gateway. We've got an Arbiter Tribunal, and it's halfway done. So Dienmax is going to go for a recall at some point. Here comes another lurker drop to the natural.
Man, yeah, you don't see Arbiters in PvZ very often at all, so this is really kind of special. The Lurkers, though, continue to just be a nightmare to deal with. Built a couple cannons, my man. I mean, he does have them at the front, but not where these Lurkers are, so continuing to shut down this natural expansion is so painful. But in response, Dienmax is going to go for it. There's not a lot defending this base over here. A couple of Sunkens, some Lurkers in the back, but there's plenty of observers where that came from.
Oh God, look at how big CastrO's army is, and there's no way Dienmax can reinforce. Look at this, just non-stop pink moving across the map. Dienmax is not where you want to fight into Sunkens with lurkers behind it, and he's just getting massively flanked by Lings and lurkers in the back. Meanwhile, drop at the natural at top middle, killed all these probes. What? He's just getting smacked?
Yeah, this is as one-sided a fight as I could have imagined. All of a sudden, that's it. Dienmax taps out and CastrO bops him. Now, not a bop as in that was a one-sided game, but man, when it ended, it sure ended, Nyoken.
It sure ended indeed. And at top middle, CastrO did a drop at the same time. The lurker had 26 probe kills. Crazy multitask from CastrO that game. He was everywhere.
That's my face. What's that meme with like the little girl who like is unsure about something? She just has that like very skeptical like face. I don't know about that one. Somebody tweet that meme at me at Rapid Casting, and I'll give you like an imaginary internet point or something. That's gonna do it for our opening game there. I don't know what to I didn't know what to expect from the series, but I think it's safe to say that CastrO, he's got something special in mind. And that macro is actually crazy. You could tell as soon as he had Dienmax pinned in his base, he was just like, I can build 5 hatcheries right now. So you're right. He loves building those hatcheries. He did exactly that game.
Yeah, it looked like a convincing win for CastrO, but you have to remember that the opener was not the most ideal for...
Yeah, for sure.
And remember, those 7 Zealots that just waltzed across the map and got a hatchery kill, and then we had a DT follow-up into the main. If CastrO didn't have such a huge lead, I think for sure Dienmax could have won that game, because I was constantly looking at the natural and the third base for CastrO, and every time I looked, it was just like so many drones and so few units. And I thought, wow, is Dienmax really going to come back? So if he didn't have such a disaster opening, I really do think that CastrO was powering a little bit too hard.
Yeah, I think CastrO did get a little greedy, and he wasn't punished for it. So, sick. You picked the right moment to get greedy. That's actually a really, I don't know, that's one of those like double-edged sword qualities to have as a player, because if you're really good at knowing when you can get greedy, that's what makes the best pro players, because they know when and where to cut the corners. But it's also what makes the absolute terrible trash players that you meet on the ladder, because they don't know when they do it, and then they randomly do it in the right time. They're like, wow, they don't get punished this game. Sick, you won the game. Wow, you're so good. But then, of course, they lose 5 other games because they just do dumbass shit that they don't know when they can do it. So sorry for all of you 12-year-olds watching that don't know what that word means. Ask your parents, they'll tell you. Let's get into the next game. It's Neo Sylphid for our second map. And yeah, I guess Dienmax needs to figure out some way to not get either pinned in his base or something. I don't know, because once CastrO has that contained down, very, very hard to deal with it. So let's get into it. Game number 2 on Neo Sylphid. All right, here we are on the map. Neo Sylphid in the bottom left-hand corner in the navy blue, which means that I can't actually see his player ID on the screen because it's too dark on the black. But this is Dienmax or DMX or DNX or DM, whatever. It's that guy.
And in the bottom right, we've got the Black Zerg. It is CastrO. And so I wonder if Dienmax is just going to continue to go with what he went for last game, or are we going to see a completely different style? Well, probe is going out now. Oh, is it going to be in-base pylon? I was wondering if we're going to have a 2-gate. There it is. Yeah. Oh, he watched Bonnet yesterday.
Dude, I could watch Bonnet 2-gate. Those games were sexy. Oh, he stood outside his opponent's base with like 5 zealots and then 7 zealots, and he's like, oh, I have enough zealots now, and he just killed him. And I'm just like, wait a second. Your opponent knows exactly how many units that you have. He knows what you can do and what you can't do. And I go, apparently not. It was oh my God, so sick. So yeah, I love it. I love it. I want some more of it. This is gonna be good. Can't wait.
And CastrO does open with Overpool, and I wonder if Dienmax is going to go for the second gate, or are we going to see tech? Remember, yesterday Bonnet did double gate both games, but they were followed up differently. One game we expanded, one game we tech. This is going to be a second gate, so Dienmax is going to be aggro, and CastrO, I don't think I've ever seen someone 2-gate him, so it'll be interesting to see how he responds to this.
Either way, it's going to take a lot of really, really good micro. I was thinking about this. I was wondering, when Peruvian players play other Peruvian players, do they both play at turn rate 8? Like, is that how the math works on that? Maybe. All I'm trying to say is when the micro comes from the 2-gate, we're going to get the answer to that question. So this is the only way that we could find out. We've set up a scientific double-blind study of BSL matches, and now we can compare when they play versus other players versus when they play versus themselves. So let's check it out. We've got the scouting probe coming through, gonna see the natural hatchery, and also the other drone was trying to come out there as well. But the Zerglings just say, right this way, sir. Let it right on into the main. And so everything, all will be made clear, rather, as this probe gets in and sees everything.
Last game, CastrO made 8 lings initially, even though he saw the forge opening. Therefore, I'm not really too worried about CastrO overpowering in the beginning, and he is smartly building more lings. And we do have Dienmax moving out. He's also bringing a probe. This time it is going to be a Nexus follow-up. No tech this time. Meanwhile, CastrO putting down his 3rd hatch. I am somewhat surprised it's not at the entrance to go for a little bit of a Sim City.
Yeah, kind of rare to see a macro hatch versus a Protoss. Usually, Zerg players put it at a base, like at this, say, forward location. But obviously, it's much safer back there, and if that's all you need it for units, then sure. And here comes the effect of that 2-gate. 3 Zealots, a dastardly probe moving forward. There's already a sunken morphing. It's about halfway done. Gotta protect that against all these Zealots.
Yesterday, we saw both Crossy and Jaeyoon respond to the double gate with fast gas. CastrO not going for it this time. This time, he's just continuing to build mass ling, and because of this, Dienmax really is not going to get punished. And this is a lot of lings to build. If we take a look at the worker count, look, it's 20 to 10. That's a sizable probe difference. Nexus is going up. I'm really liking Dienmax's position. He even canceled his forge because he saw, I guess, that there was no gas in the main. He's not really too worried about a ling run by. So I'm loving how Dienmax is transitioning out of this.
Yeah, this is, man, I always wonder what the right amount of pressure is to put on. And obviously, you have to be really careful, because if you just run your Zealots in and they die, then obviously that is somewhat subpar. So he's going to get to the ramp, but unfortunately it's not tight on the ramp, so this is going to be really, really difficult. Losing all of those Zealots and the scouting probe. Now all of a sudden, it's not only a dark, scary wasteland out there on the map, but you have nothing to defend back at home except for your Zealots.
Well, Dienmax may be regretting canceling that forge, because CastrO's continuing to build lings. And now that we're mining gas, speed is going to kick in. But look at the perfect Zealot count. 4 at the top, complete wall with the forge.
Wow.
1 at the bottom. He just needs really 1 probe to match these Zealots at the top, and he should be able to hold this overwhelming amount of lings. Oh, look at this. CastrO wants to focus down that pylon.
Yeah, ooh. And he's going to get through. No, actually a very flexible kind of wall bending along with the flood of the lings, and the lings are actually unable to break through right as the probes come up just in time to help the Zealots block.
Yeah, really great micro from Dienmax there, and CastrO's in big time trouble. He spent a lot of larva building those lings, but now he's starting to pump out drones. He's got his lair going. So actually, I'm surprised. The probe count versus drone count is now almost even. So maybe he wasn't as all in as I thought, but that looked like a lot of lings. Now, what does he want to do with this lair? He's got gas going up at his natural. Everything so far, it looks like we may actually have Mutas this game.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see Mutas here. I think obviously when your opponent goes 2-gate, they're going to be a little bit slower on everything else because they just put a lot of money into Zealots. Kind of the same principle for Zerg, their larva expenditure. But I also get kind of curious to see what this macro hatch does as the game draws on, because normally you're looking at a Zerg with 3 mining bases at this point.
Yeah, the econ is not going to be going crazy for CastrO just yet. Dienmax has so many Zealots. Yeah, you have to remember that he's constantly making out of 2-gate. He's at 10 now. He's going to come in here, see there's only 1 sunken, see there's really not that many Zerglings. He may even try to move out right now, which would be nice. It would force out more lings. Definitely force CastrO on the back foot. And Dienmax, okay, there's the Stargate. I was wondering what the tech is going to be because he's already got double cannon going up in his main. So he must also suspect that Mutas are coming.
Really good read. Stargate only about halfway done at this point, but he's also building Dragoons along with the cannons, so he's getting ready. I think that should be fine as far as the timing concerned, because Mutas are just barely about to be built as Spire nears completion. But let's see what CastrO wants to do, because he will need another mining base here pretty soon. He's getting it at the 3 o'clock location. I guess that's better than the forward base, but I think it's actually about to take that one too, right? Where is this drone going?
Well, it's CastrO. He's probably taking top middle.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of the G5 base up there. Like, well, we know you're expanding somewhere, What you don't know, he's expanding somewhere else.
I'm curious what these goons are about. He's going to try and pick off this Overlord, but he's building a third one, and he's got a Stargate, and he's got Citadel coming up. This is a really funky initial opener from Dienmax. He does get the Overlord, which actually doesn't supply CastrO at all. And the mutas are coming out, and he's already built 8. This is a big commitment from him.
He's going up to a full control group.
Luckily, the Sayre's going to intercept the... No, they're just going to run by, and these goons are actually going to help him out. 2 cannons should die to these 9 mutas. Here he comes.
Yeah, here we go. More mutas actually flooding into the flock in the main. Cannons getting focused down. There is a Dragoon there. More cannons being warped in, but now everything is gone. Corsair coming in, and that needs to be dealt with immediately. But the Dragoons moving forward means the mutas have to move backwards.
Yeah, mutas are actually going to be fended off for now. I was getting very worried because right when the mutas came in, Dienmax was supply blocked, couldn't build any more Sayres. Sayre gets taken out. Now we have 3 goons versus 8 mutas. These mutas will win. DTs are being morphed. They're not even goons to actually help in the air. So CastrO's coming back in this game. He's focusing down one of the cannons. A Scourger here. Is CastrO just going to steal this?
I think he is. He's going to position the Scourge over the Stargate, and there's nothing he can do. He's going to have to run that Corsair away instead of saving these vulnerable drones, instead of saving the cannons, which won't be able to come up. The main is in shambles. The mutas have done it.
Yeah, and just now Templars are being morphed, but we don't even know if they have Storm available. Scourge run into cannons, they actually die. But CastrO's running away with it now. He's got his 4 base up and running. He's going to have top middle pretty soon. And Dienmax isn't even doing anything with these Zealots. It's not like he's trying to make it crazy killing a base. DT finally moving out. He's going to find mid-right, which he may be able to shut down now. Here he goes. He's going to try and attack the Natural, but the Natural has 3 Sunkens already set up.
Yeah, Dienmax doing his best to try to use these Corsairs to be annoying, but obviously focusing down the Nexus is priority number 1. And now he comes back, kills off one of the Corsairs. There's only 1 left, and nobody cared that. The Mutas just going to kill everything else in the main, and I wouldn't even blame him for committing more into Mutas, although I think that is probably enough. He doesn't die to the Zealot attack, and that was really the last hope for Dienmax to get damage done out on the map.
Yeah, Cybernetics is going to go down. At least range is going to complete, but we don't have any spot to build gateways. And without gateways, you can't make goons. Like, look at the Natural. Assuming the main gets wiped, where do you build? You can't build anywhere. There's really nothing Dienmax can do right now. And this DT was misclicked. He's just sitting in the middle of nowhere. And the mid-right base is so susceptible. Oh, this is so unfortunate.
Wow, this is what we like to call the Cruzago curse. His prediction was in fact correcta. I don't know what to say about Dienmax other than, I mean, his only hope is to like maybe rebuild somewhere else. He's getting a third base, but at this point it's just going to be a second.
He can't even build cannons at his top base because he needs to build gates. He can't build any units right now. And as soon as CastrO sees that, hey, there's no defense here, he's just going to waltz up there and kill that. And the issue is none of these mutas have died. It's not like he wiped the main and they all got wiped out. They're still alive, so they can just fly anywhere and just kill everything.
Yeah, that's what mutas do best. It's like Tiggers and bouncing. It's just the thing. So now they're gonna completely wipe out the main, and then realize, wait a second, there's a completely undefended base up there. He does know about that. So, wait, he does know about that, right?
I don't think he knows about it yet, but
Really?
Dienmax is... Oh, okay, guess he does, because here he goes, and this is going to be another anti-timing for Dienmax. It's 2 cannons, 2 more built. The Sayre, well, if he didn't know now, or if he didn't he knows now, because the Sayre just debated him into it.
Surprise! There's a base here. Yeah, I would say Dienmax's opportunities to win this game are low, but not non-existent. He's got a DT out there and a Dream. Unfortunately, all the Zerg air units detect, except for Mutas and Scourge.
This DT is painful because just now the Overlord gets into position. Oof. And the DT gets taken out. So it was across the map. Look at this. He comes in. Oh, he still doesn't come in. but he's going to get picked off. And he just had so many chances to actually deny the space, and he just instantly dies. And GG, that's brutal.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Oof. That's the one where you don't immediately hit the play again button. Wow. Well, that's going to do it. So congratulations to CastrO, who really crushed in that series. I didn't expect that at all, but I think he really knew how to play both of the games from the position he got into perfectly. The Muta switch in game 2, and obviously the crazy greed after the soft contain with Hydras in game number 1. Really, really strong play. So I'm actually really excited because we get to see a very strong Zerg player in CastrO face off against one of the strongest in trutaCz in the next game. And, you know, we were both hoping that trutaCz got second place out of this group so that he would play Eon Zerg. So if you guys want that to happen, you got to be fans of CastrO. Ugh, almost said Cruza. Anyway, that's going to do it for our second best of 3. We'll come back. We'll find out which player will be the first player to advance out of Group D and into the round of 8. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. More BSL? Yes, there is more, but not for long. Just as a brief kind of announcement, just don't forget, this is the end of the round of 16. Next week, there is a break. So it's going to be the break SL, the BSL will be taking a brief vacation as Zero takes a brave vacation and I take a vacation to head on up to Russia, where we will be casting the Corrupted Cup. Zero, of course, casting in Polish, and I'll be doing some casting in English. Also, going up there with trutaCz and a bunch of the other best players in the world to go play Brood War for, I think, $10,000. What? So crazy. The prize pool, I don't even know. It's insane. So big shout out to Russ Brain for running that tournament. And I'm just going to thank you all in advance for watching it, because you should. It's amazing. So definitely tune into the Corrupted Cup next week. So you got to get your BSL filled today, because it's going to be a couple weeks before we move on to the round of 8. So we still have to find out which players will be in the round of 8. And so coming up next, we've got the decider match, for the winner's match, to figure out which player is going to advance. Is it going to be trutaCz, or in what I think I would consider a small upset, is it going to be CastrO? Because, I mean, CastrO actually looked pretty good, Nyoken.
Yeah, CastrO, he's really good in Zerg versus Terran and Zerg versus Protoss, but Zerg versus Zerg, completely different beast, completely different style. So
Yeah.
I wonder if he can match someone like trutaCz, who just looks unstoppable in this matchup.
Yeah, trutaCz, I think it's safe to say, is on another level. Probably in all matchups, but specifically ZVZ, it's so scary. So, I mean, I don't have to talk about it, because I can literally just say, let's get into the game, be quiet, and you guys are going to witness the greatness. I'm pretty confident, but not totally. I would say, let's see what CastrO can do, because we already watched him do some pretty strong play in his previous series. So I'm not counting him out. I'm just trying to give you guys a realistic expectation here. Obviously, it is going to be a battle of Poland versus Peru. So I think both fans from both places are pretty biased. So I'm going to do what Nyoken was trying to do yesterday. I'm going to advise the fans to give their players their energy.
Yes.
Really cheer super hard for your player, because only then will they be able to triumph for the country that they're representing. Okay, go for it, guys. We're going to get into game number 1. It's going to be Sylphid, Power Bond, and Ground Zero as our map list. Let's get into game 1. Autobots transform RSA. I've never heard that in another language. Let's get into it. Game number 1 in the 12 o'clock location at the top of Sylphid in the yellow, playing Zerg. It's CastrO.
In the bottom left, we've got the Polish Zerg player. It is trutaCz. So we saw 2 different styles from trutaCz. I wonder if we're going to see the same 2 openers, or is he going to do a different build? Because CastrO is definitely a different type of player than Babo is. But really, I just don't know what to expect from CastrO at all. I think I've seen him play ZVZ once, and it actually looked pretty normal, but I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I also do not remember exactly. So I'm just going to defer to saying we'll see what happens. I actually... Wow, I think you just broke my brain. I'm pretty sure okay, never mind. I know nothing anymore. My brain is tabula rasa. What game are we playing? Okay, I'm just going to talk about what's happening here, because the builds are actually going to be pretty different. We've already got 9 pool gas on the way from CastrO.
From trutaCz.
Oh,
so
over pool coming from CastrO then. Yeah.
Well, CastrO's actually going to go for 12 hatch.
What?
So CastrO,
What?
as expected, this is Greedman, and trutaCz being very aggro. So this, again, may be a very quick game. And this is the same opener that we saw trutaCz use on Power Bond. And we saw how he transitioned out of this with the low ground natural, went into the evolution chamber. But now that he's going to see the 12th hatch, probably not going to go for that.
Yes. Yeah, just never listen when I say what build it is because I will immediately be proven wrong. So probably go with Nyoken on that one. So yes, you are right. This could just be a very fast game. We're gonna have True Touch with speedlings across the map faster than anybody knows what to do with them. Actually, he's just gonna skip speed, go straight to lair, and I think that's probably just as deadly a combination. At least the Overlord gets here just in time to see the 6 lings head out.
Yeah, actually, this is not the build that trutaCz used in Power Bond. This is the build that Babo used on Power Bond, where he got the lair. Oh, he's putting back onto gas. Okay, here come those lings. And this was 12 hatch, 11 pool, 10 gas. CastrO did not build any extra drones. And this is going to be pretty difficult because unlike other maps, when these lings run by, oh, actually, okay, yeah, he's going to fight the hatchery. But when he runs into the main, if he run a cancel, what?
Whoa! You're supposed to let that finish, right? Like, I'm not wrong about that. I feel like also then losing the drone, like, does he not just lose the game at this point? Like, I'm pretty sure he just loses.
Maybe you cancel, but if you cancel, you at least need, and now he starts it again. That must have been a misclick because there's no way you cancel and insta build it, but he did.
I'm pretty, yeah, that must have been like a panic cancel. I don't know why that is your panic reaction though, because that should just never be your reaction. Like I was seeing some friends who just got back to Korea after being gone for a while, and I was just like saying hi to one of them, and the other comes up behind me and just says hi, and I jumped out of my skin. I was so scared. But I feel like even that is a more appropriate panic reaction than canceling your hatchery and then instantly rebuilding it.
Usually, if you're going to cancel it, you at least let it take a few hits.
Yeah, just buy some time.
Yeah, I don't know how far along it was, but it did force the lings into the main. He actually killed the majority of the lings, and now the hatchery is going to get up. So it wasn't actually as bad as I thought. I thought for sure that, this guy's just going to run in and kill every single drone. But that's not the case. CastrO also has layers, surprisingly. There's no Spire, though, but he does have tech. He's getting the evolution chamber, just like trutaCz did in the previous series. And this time the onus is going to be on trutaCz to get something done, which Babo couldn't get done.
Man, imagine if he had gone speed instead of lair here. Whew. I mean, I think the lair is still going to be just as deadly, like I said, but I'm watching this huge wall of Zerglings that will actually just not do anything. So, I mean, there is a spore going up in the main, or a couple of spores going up in the main. And there's going to be an attempt at one in the natural. I don't know how effective that will be.
This specific position, or even this specific map, Sylphid, I'm not the biggest fan of the spores, because if we look at the spore placement, putting it in the mineral line at the top, it still exposes certain parts of the drone line. So it's going to be hard for CastrO to really kind of lock down his mineral line. He's having to build another spore at the natural, also even a second colony going down. But both players have snuck lings across the map. But here comes trutaCz. He's got that Muta support. It's going to allow the lings to just waltz in. He may even actually kill both of these spores.
Yeah, I think he is actually just going to kill them. Wow, how did he get so many lings in there? He got one of the spores down. Obviously, one spore is still enough to fend off basically infinity mutas, but he might just actually rally lings on in there. No, he's actually still committing to mutas, as he should. The rest of his lings are still alive and might try to go back to that other spore, but ultimately these mutas will kill the majority of CastrO's lings, and still kind of reigns supreme in the skies, because I don't know how long it's going to be until we see a CastrO Muta in the air.
Yeah, and this, there he goes. He almost got a drone, but this is a position that I don't think you can ever let trutaCz in, because he's not going to sit. He's going to build more lings, more mutas, and try to actually win the game outright. We can see how far away the spore is from that little choke between the main and the nat. And what can really CastrO do to try and wall off prevent lings? But trutaCz doesn't even care. He just dives the drone line.
No, this is like definitely the big balls play to make here, because obviously you're taking hits you don't want. Wow, he actually lost the muta from doing that. So I mean, I guess it's still worth, because like CastrO has way too many drones, but that is something we should talk about. CastrO's got 17 drones, trutaCz only 11, so there's some ground to make up with these mutas. Oh, loses another muta.
Yeah, surprisingly, the Spores have got Heat Seeker missiles on them, picking out the low HP mutalist. But this is so hard to make work in ZVZ, where you're the one trying to power drone. Meanwhile, the other guy has the air advantage. They got positional advantage. They're going to be able to run Lings into the main. And what does really trutaCz have, or CastrO have, to defend any Ling run by? Nothing. He has Spores. There's no sunken anywhere. So CastrO's trying to power, which is probably what he should do, but it's one of the hardest things to do in ZVZ. Probably the hardest thing to do.
Oof, another. Yeah. Man, how does he keep losing mutas to this? Like, I get that he's diving, but I feel like the mutas are dying, like, uncharacteristically fast. Yeah, wow, he's now back down to 4 mutas again. Holy.
Yeah, these Spores have gotten 6 muta kills. And even though CastrO's losing drones, if we take a look back into the main, he's got his Spire building, and his gas is way higher than trutaCz's right now. So even though trutaCz has mutas out on the map right now, CastrO may actually be able to even up the muta count in the next minute or two.
I'm so surprised at this point. I mean, obviously, it sucks to lose drones, but it's way easier to remake a drone than it is to remake a muta. So I think CastrO will actually come out ahead in all of this, even though trutaCz does have a scary muta ball. 20 to 15 drones is a place every Zerg player wishes they were.
And now the real problem for CastrO is he just needs to get some minerals so that he can actually build these mutalists. Also, back in the main of this Spire Spore colony placement is really jacking up his main gas income. Hopefully that doesn't, hopefully that's not the difference maker in any fight, because if that was to happen, that would be pretty heartbreaking. But we do finally have the Spire done. He's instantly started armor, and trutaCz is matching the armor. Oh, actually, trutaCz already has +1 weapon. So just like we were talking about in the Babo series, he did get +1 weapon because he does want to dive these Spores. There he goes again. He's going to pick it off, but now that he sees the mutas, probably going to turn around.
Is trutaCz really going to fight mutas over Spores? I feel like that's not a winning recipe. I mean, he does have that +1 weapons, so obviously I think that's what he's banking on here. But, I mean, there are still other Spores. Picking up that gas would be really big, though.
Well, the difference between trutaCz and Babo is this time trutaCz, the one with the muta advantage, he's not being passive with his mutas. Look, he's just killing the extractor, and even the splash damage has knocked down the Spire to half health. He's going to pick up the Spire.
Is he really? Oh my god. This +1 weapons upgrade, we don't often see that done first, but especially if you can get it before your opponent is going to be getting their armor upgrade, you can really put down some pain. And so taking down that Spire and the gas, it's going to be so hard for CastrO to get back on the muta game.
Yeah, and again, the muta's just splashing, and you got to keep your eye on that Spire. The Spire's already taken 40, 50 damage right there. This splash, it even kills a drone. What?
It'll do it to you that way. Well, I think CastrO is pretty out of this. I mean, obviously, it's going to take some time. He's still up in drones, but he can't mine gas from his main, so that's going to be a definite downside. In the meantime, trutaCz still continuing to get further ahead back home, so it's going to be rough for CastrO to come back from here.
Yeah, here comes trutaCz again. Let's see if that one Spore in the natural can get any more muta kills. There's a lot of drones here that he can potentially pick off. Mutas in the main are way out of position, can't help at all. There's 1 drone, 2 drones, 3. Oh, he does get a kill. That's Spore. I'm just now realizing that buildings don't have damage counts or kill counts.
The kill counts, yeah. I feel like it would have been more worth it for him to dive that Spore and kill it and lose like 7 mutas than to just keep losing mutas over and over again to it.
That Spore has done way more damage than it should have done, but it just doesn't matter. Now the drone count is almost even. trutaCz is going to have, he already does have +1 armor now, and he can really just attack anywhere. Oh, CastrO trying to hide a base, but I think actually the Lings or Mutas saw it. Here you go. Okay, trutaCz, what are these Mutas doing down here? He must suspect that the only reason CastrO can be in this game is he's got to have something hidden.
Yeah, and oh, there we go. Gotcha. So I think that's gonna do it. Like with no possibility of a hidden base. Yeah, I think CastrO. He's still like technically alive, but it's like he's a. This is like a Call of Duty game, and he's playing. trutaCz is playing against a zombie. I don't know. CastrO is gonna be pretty dead when these mutas show up.
How many mutas do we have? We've got control group here. We've got almost a second control group back at the main. There's a lot of spores in the main. God, this extractor placement. He's gonna kill the Spire with this. Oh no, he won't. The extractor's gonna die too fast.
Yeah, and there it goes. And CastrO leaves instantly afterwards. So I think that was very poignant loss there. But I mean, it's only game number 1. Let's see what happens when we get into our next series. But I think, yeah, trutaCz really. I don't know how you would characterize that because in the meantime, we didn't actually kind of talk about this, but CastrO had already finished its Queen's Nest and was going to Hive. So we almost got there. I really want to see another one of those Hive Tech ZVZs. We've had one, and ever since then, I just miss it. So we were almost there, but obviously, I mean, CastrO would have been pretty dead even if we got there. So trutaCz dominating so far, has not lost a game in the round of 16. Hasn't lost a game all season long, if you want to look at it that way. Maybe next game will be the one. We'll see if CastrO can do it. Let's see. What is our next map, Nyoken? Do you remember?
You know what map it is.
Oh, that's right. How dare I forget the only map we're allowed to play in BSL. Power Bond coming up. Oh boy.
Yeah, I didn't realize that CastrO was going for the Hive. I guess that is, of course, his only option, but I don't think you're ever going to get the Hive versus trutaCz. That would be extremely surprising to me if he was able to actually get there. But this is game 2. trutaCz 1 game away from making it out. Let's see if CastrO can hold on, though. I think that if he didn't cancel that hat trick so early, maybe he would have had a better position. But never know. trutaCz is just so deadly.
Yeah, that's actually really, really crucial. We didn't talk about that afterwards, but I'm still kind of confused about that. Well, either way, let's get into game number 2. The map is Power Bond, of course. What else would it be? Let's get into it and see which player is going to advance out of Group D. All right, here we go in the upper left-hand corner in the gray, playing Zerg from Poland. It is trutaCz.
In the bottom middle, we've got the green Zerg. It is CastrO. Now, just like in the Babo series, if I was thinking from trutaCz's point of view, I would have the same thing, or same idea. This guy's probably going to build a lot of Lings versus me because I just feel like I'm the better player in the Muta game. So I would honestly open the same thing that trutaCz did in Power Bond, which was the 12 pool, 12 gas expand.
Yeah, let's see if CastrO still wants to play a little bit more greedily. He would have gotten away with it if it weren't for that dog and those meddling kids, aka Zerglings in game number 1. But I'm waiting. Up to 9 supply. What are we doing?
Yeah, everything's so... Oh, is that going to be gas? Probably extractor trick, right? No extractor trick. That is going to be...
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I think this was similar to the Sylph... Was it Sylphid in Babo? Sylphid game that they played?
Yeah, where he went for just like a faster gas.
Yeah, I think that this is essentially the same opener here. We got the fast gas. trutaCz is going for an overpool with it. And what is CastrO going for? Actually, CastrO went for 12 pool this time.
Yeah, so 12 pool versus like 9 gas. I guess that would mean like a nine gas, and then the pool afterwards. So I actually really like this from trutaCz. Gonna have a slight gas advantage, but also will allow him to get to that hive pretty quickly. Yeah, 3 drones on gas for both players, and away we go.
Yep, so I'm trying to think back to the Sylphid game. Oh no, it wasn't Sylphid, it was Gladiator. That's what it was, Gladiator. This is the same build that trutaCz used on Gladiator. I remember it because I was like, that doesn't sound right. And trutaCz got away with murder building the 6 links. And this time, CastrO gets off of first scout. So trutaCz not going to be able to get away with 6 links this time. And there is the in-base hatch for CastrO. Where's he going to put his gas into? It's got to be speed.
Yeah, for sure. I think in-base hatchery, I'm still a little bit on the fence. See how well it works out for CastrO, because I don't think that it's a great build into what trutaCz is going to be bringing. So, yeah, trutaCz lair about halfway done. Oof, this is going to be probably a difficult one for CastrO. Is he going to be ready for mutas on time?
Yeah, the lair timing is actually very similar to trutaCz, and trutaCz with an in-base hatch of his own. I am a little surprised that it was not speed this time. Look at the gas advantage for trutaCz. Neither player has speed. He's up 200 gas. That's going to be massive if we ever get to the muta play. But everything so far is, I guess, neither player wants to attack because trutaCz only has 4 lings. CastrO has only got 6 lings. He's not building any more drones at this point either, or any more lings at this point.
Yeah, so no more lings, just Spire on the way. For trutaCz, Spire's just going to be a couple seconds slower there for CastrO. But I really do like this build order for trutaCz. I feel like it gives him a huge advantage. Obviously, gas, if you just look at the counts, he's double what CastrO's gas is, and that's going to directly translate into Mutalisks. And he also had like the slightly faster Spire, so he's going to have twice as many mutas faster.
CastrO has started upgrading speed. Meanwhile, this is something I've noticed in almost all the games that we've seen trutaCz play today. Gladiator, I don't think he got speed. Last map was actually hilarious because I was expecting to see speed on the lings, and they just never had speed. Even at the very end, the 12-minute mark or 13-minute mark, there was no speed on the ling. So this 200 gas ling, or 200 gas lead for trutaCz, it's not even 200 now. It's now 300. So we're going to have 6 mutas versus 3. It's just almost you almost can't ever. It doesn't matter how many Scourge hits land. You just can't win when the muta count is that far superior for you. Oh man, that's a lot of lings. Here he comes.
That is quite a few lings. The conga line coming out from CastrO as the lings head across the map. They have not been spotted, so they are still incognito. Is there Overlord in the middle of the map though? Let's see if this scouts it. No, it actually does not see. Okay, now it does see the lings, and so now all of a sudden kind of panic mode for trutaCz. He's got a sunken in his main and Zerglings on top of his ramp, but I think CastrO's got more than enough to break through. He massacres the lings on the ramp, but yeah, right to the Valkyrie's music. Cue that. We got lings in the main. Let's see how many drones they're able to get. Are they going to focus down that sunken? Got it down to half health. It is going to go down, but at what cost, right? Lings will die without really getting much else.
Yeah, he killed a sunken, and now what does he have? He spent all of his larva on lings, and really they didn't do really that much. And trutaCz has 7 mutas now. He's also got Scourge of his own. CastrO's scrambling to get up as much anti-air defense as he possibly can, but it again, the huge gas difference. Both players are broke on gas, but trutaCz just has so many mutas. Actually, this ling counterattack has forced trutaCz to turn around, which is exactly what CastrO needs.
I don't even think he needed to turn around. trutaCz's drones were making magic happen there. I don't even think he lost one, did he? I think he may have lost 1 drone, or the Zerglings did almost no damage. Maybe they just did almost no damage. Yeah, I think he actually didn't lose one. Damn. So that does delay the mutas across the map, but obviously they're mutas and the map's pretty close. So here we go.
And here we go, 9 mutas versus 6. Just gotta watch out for those Scourge, but the The Mutamicro is just crazy from trutaCz. He's blasting out all these Scourge, and now he can just overwhelmingly win this fight. And now CastrO's retreating, no Spore support. This is going to be it.
Yeah, that's definitely it. trutaCz wins the Muta battle. It has a sick build order advantage and used that to perfection. And that means that trutaCz, a straight out 4-0 marathon run to the, or I guess 100-meter dash. He was right out the gate. Getting into the round of 8, so I don't think anybody is surprised by that. trutaCz, of course, the champion of Season 6 BSL. Season 7 looks like he's well on his way to getting back that title again. So, domination. That was kind of a clinic.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen trutaCz lose ZVZ. It's so good. Like, amazing, actually. I don't know how he does it. The way he turns around on a dime and just splashes Scourge, uses the extractor to splash, just incredible. So he's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with in the round of 8 and beyond. But we do have CastrO waiting in the deciders match. But now we're going to be getting into Babo versus Dienmax.
Yeah, this should actually be a fun one. I want to see another series from Dienmax because I think he has so much more to offer than what we got a chance to see in his previous game versus CastrO. So either way, we are going to get into that series after a quick break, so don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with the losers match from Group D of the last round of the round of 16 in this season of BSL. Welcome back, everybody, to the BSL. We just qualified trutaCz to the round of 8. Surprise, I know. But it was very, very dominant. 4-0 straight on to the round of 8. Now we have to eliminate a player from the BSL. Who's it going to be? I don't know, because we didn't really get a chance to see what Dienmax really had to offer. So I do hope that we get a chance to watch him actually get a chance to execute some builds and not just get either locked in his base or killed right away. Because that was kind of rough playing against CastrO. So now playing versus Babo, I think this is finally just going to be a really, really even matchup, at least from what we've seen today.
Yeah, hopefully Dienmax has a better showing this time. He's going to be going up against Babo, who has really good micro, but Dienmax is definitely a macro player, so we'll have to see if Babo can keep up. And if Dienmax gets eliminated, there would be one Protoss in the round of 8. All the Protoss hopes and dreams would rest on Boneth, which is a good person to have your hopes set on, but you know, it would be great if we could get a second Protoss out.
I don't know. Less Protoss, the better. Dirty. No, I'm just kidding. That would actually be good. I am all for. I'm like the big brain version of Thanos, where instead of wanting everything to be balanced between 2 things, I want it to be balanced between 3 things, all 3 of those races. But there's only 8 spots, so I'm actually a really bad Thanos because I can't actually make it perfectly balanced. But the maps pool is going to be Gladiator, Power Bond, and Ground Zero. If we could just play Power Bond all 3 maps, we would, but, unfortunately we can't. Rules. Ugh. Anyway, let's get into game number 1. It's on Gladiator, Dienmax versus Babo. The loser is eliminated from the BSL. All right, welcome everyone to game number 1 of our losers match, or our elimination match. That's the nice way to call it. In the upper left-hand corner, in the grossest color in Starcraft, this is Dienmax.
In the bottom right, we've got I think it's Chilean Zerg. It is Babo. So I wonder if we will see Dienmax go for another 2-gate. I'm trying to think back actually Gladiator wasn't in the KSL, but there was a KSL where we had In the Way of an Eddy, which is somewhat similar to Gladiator, and we saw multiple 2-gates in that KSL. I wonder if we will see a 2-gate here. No, forward pylon, but it still could be some type of forward gate. You never know.
Yeah. Probe scouting after pylon, though, is going to be trying to get definitely advanced information and or block a hatchery. We'll see what the future is for our brave little Proberino out here. Scouting correctly, so at least that's, or at least generally in the correct direction, not just cross scouting. I don't know, what's your philosophy? I don't think we've talked about this for a while. What is your scouting philosophy, Nyokin, about where you look first for your opponent? Is it always close spawns?
Generally, you would go for close spawns unless you're going for some type of meta game. Versus someone that I know likes to pull first versus me as Terran. Sometimes I cross scout or go vertical scout because Zergs, they know the timing when SCV should get to another base. So if you intercept each other, they think, oh, well, now I know where he is. And then they send lanes to an opposite position. But
yeah,
I mean, that we're starting to get to a very high level at this point. I don't know if that's really a big consideration here for Dienmax. He did scout horizontal and then vertically as a secondary scout. And again, Dienmax did go for a very fast forge, which is a bit unusual because a lot of Protoss players will cut the forge as long as possible, especially if they get off a first scout. They want to get off the Nexus if they can. So, he canceled a cannon.
Ooh, okay. I mean, obviously, when you get into your opponent's base and find out that their spawning pool is only like 25% completed, yeah, that cannon can probably wait until a little bit later. But I actually agree with you. I think he could have gotten away with like Nexus first, or before or after pylon, if he had gotten a let's say a cross scout or something. But as is, I think canceling the pylon is actually going to be pretty safe, and he restarts it, so no worries.
Yep, and Babo taking a third base on the other side of the map. We don't have a close third hatch at the miner only like CastrO went for. This is already setting up to be into a split map scenario, and that's going to be pretty tough for Protoss to deal with. Gladiator hard to get, I guess, 3 or 4 bases. The third base that it's close to the miner only has no gas, and this gate is pretty damn fast since he was able to cut that pylon. Dienmax will definitely be able to tech much faster than he did last time we saw him on Gladiator.
Yeah, for sure. And I think this is going to give him a great opportunity to just get to play the game. Okay, so mission accomplished. And they are in cross spawns, so obviously that should give them motivation to go for a little bit of a longer game. Although you never know, Babo, keep an eye on what exactly he wants to do. Yeah, third base coming up. And it is, I don't know, I guess technically the close base. If Corsairs run straight down, then they will be able to hit that base faster than any other. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, probe I don't see in the Zerg base any longer. We do have Lair for Babo, so it's kind of in the dark. Dienmax sending out a secondary probe, trying to figure out what exactly is going on, where this hatchery is placed. And we've seen almost every single Protoss player go for fast Citadel. I wonder if Dienmax will open with straight Citadel, 973, such a common build these days. Nope, Stargate.
Okay, well, I mean, the Stargate is going to give him faster scouting information than anything else. But also, if you do this without proper information, then you can be going Stargate into Ling Flood, and you're just like, oh, well, that's obviously highly unfortunate, but let's find out. I don't know exactly Wait, what are we this? Okay, there it is. Link speed actually finally coming through.
Link speed about to finish. Spire has gone up. If we take a look at the gas across the bases, there's no second extractor for Babo. This time, no mutas. This is definitely going to be for Scourge. And we do have... This is not the super fast Citadel that we've been seeing a lot of these days. This is definitely... I think this is going to be more of the standard 730 timing, which is kind of phased out for Protoss. There we go, second gate. Okay, Dienmax is going to go for a somewhat heavy Zealot timing this time. His Forge isn't spinning though, and +1's such a critical upgrade. I'm surprised that it hasn't started to upgrade.
Yeah, Citadel finishing now, 2 more gates on the way, so that's really going to help him out with high Zealot numbers. But if you're going for a lot of Zealots, I mean, +1 seems pretty natural. Oh, 4 gates, whoa, okay.
Yeah, actually, this is even 5 gate because he's got a second at his Nat. He's definitely keeping up the pressure. And the Ling came in and scouted and saw that the Forge is not spinning. If you're in Babo's position, you're not expecting to see Mass Zealot come, because why would you go Mass Zealot without +1? It's such a crucial upgrade. This may catch Babo completely off guard.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe that could be for the mind game. That would be really big brain. I still oh no, it's not tight. The pain, the struggle of the Protoss. Well, Nyokin, we were almost about to see a really cool strategy, and then Dienmax took an arrow to the knee. I mean, probes are pretty good. They do kill all the Lings without losing a single one, I believe. So that's cool. But also, now your opponent knows exactly what you're going for.
Yeah, the strategy has been given away, but at least Dienmax had his Templar Archive completed. He can at least transition out of this pretty fast. Zealot got into the natural, killed a few drones, and now he's back into the third base, killing a few drones. So this is good recovery so far from Dienmax, but, well, actually, he forced the drones all the way back to his natural. Maybe Babo can't hold mid-left?
Wait, what? That would be so comical. It's like they both get in, but unfortunately, probes were able to kill all these Zerglings, and now these Zealots should actually, let's see how well they're microed. Not that well, but they do kill all the Zerglings, so that's nice.
The drone is coming back, and yeah, there's just too many Lings now. These Zealots are going to fall, and this is starting to snowball a little bit. And Babo is going to take a big big lead in this game. He should be able to go into a drone cycle pretty soon. And Dienmax, again, with the hidden base, usually you only see hidden bases like this when you're really feeling like you can't recover. I guess he's already decided that, because again, this base hasn't gone up. Babo needs to scout it. If he was to scout it, this could instantly go down.
At least Dienmax knows to block his the holes in his wall, so the Zerglings don't get right back in. Dienmax does hold on his side. He did force out a lot of Zerglings, but your opponent's going to be on 5 hatcheries, so they should be able to make that up. Yeah, 10 drones on the way there for a second. So Babo is definitely hitting his macro cycles, that's for sure.
Yeah, big drone cycle right there. And Dienmax was channeling his inner Gosudark with his build. A little more econ base. He's got way more pros, but here comes the first Archon with this Zealot army. But that's really not going to help him out, because we saw Babo's already started to get Hydras. There's no mutas in production, but he does have a lot of gas banked up. There may be a muta switch at some point. You have to remember that Babo did realize that Corsairs have been skimped out on, but Dienmax, I guess, realized who he's playing against. He started to rebuild Corsairs again. Saw DT somewhere. Where did it go? There it is. It's mixed in with the one Zealot trying to save the day at the minute only. But here comes Dienmax. But the Sim City is so good.
Yeah, how are you supposed to get through there? He's going to have to focus the Hydra Den first, which is obviously not the highest priority building there. The Archon getting focused down almost immediately, and so the Zealots have to back out to the Lings that are coming through. So many Zerglings here, and yeah, this is not really going to get much done. The DT coming in should actually help with the Lings, not a whole lot else.
Yeah, Dienmax losing a lot there. Got the Hydra Den, which did cancel range. He doesn't have speed, or he does have speed on his Hydras. The Hydras are still pretty dangerous, just speed. But Dienmax did at least buy time to get up his third base, and still Babo has no clue about this. Meanwhile, oh, I thought that we were going to bank energy on these Templars that he's morphed, but again, he's morphing an Archon.
Yeah, I know he is just going to go for Archon Zealot as his way to hold on. Obviously, decent army of Corsairs as well. I think he's up to 4 Corsairs, 4 Sairs, if you will, running into a little bit of an uncomfortable number of Scourge. So they're going to head right back to their home base, Cannon, warm their hands up with the fire, and then look to see if they can get anything else done.
Actually got one Sair. I was surprised that one connected. But there are mutas actually being pumped out from Babo. Despite seeing the Sair count, he's decided that a muta switch is going to be nice. And unfortunately for him, since Dienmax is morphing all of his Templars into Archons, the mutas really aren't going to deal that much damage. But I still think Babo's position is just fine. He's got his 4th base going up. He's got 6 hatches. He's got 4 Sunkens on the left side. Really no threat. But for us on 3 base that has gone unhindered, that's a decent position to be in as Protoss.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we called it a hidden base. It's still pretty hidden, but it did come up way ahead of schedule, so that is going to be pretty good. Killing off the gateway at the front, right as the High Templar pops out of it. If that had been canceled, that would have been kind of awkward, but as is. Muta's coming into the main! Surprise! All your probes belong to Babo. He's going to focus down the cannon here. Where are the Corsairs? They get scourged on their way in, and now there's only 3. The mutas are a little stacked, an attempted split there, but the Corsairs just don't stand a chance. This main is in shambles.
Yeah, this is just a repeat of the Sylphid game. Almost all the Sairs dying. We only have 2 goons for defense. Archon is trying to come in to save the day, but the Sim City is not the greatest. The Archon has to deal with running around the Nexus, the pylons, the gate, the Templar Archive. Look at this. The mutas can just run circles. Oh, turn around.
Yeah, they actually they could, because I guess technically they have a 1 range advantage over Archons, but it's so minute. You have to be basically perfect at microing that. Ooh, it's so scary. It's so scary.
Well, 3rd base has been found, but the mutas run into it. Wow, how did those cannons not kill a single muta? I just watched a Spore kill 7 mutas last game in the trutaCz series. How's that possible?
Yeah, Spore's obviously infinitely better than cannons, for sure. So broken. But, let's watch these Corsairs go to work. They actually are starting to finish off quite a few of those very wounded mutas, but, yeah, Zealot's not going to rely on their Corsair overlords, or Corsair brethren. There we go. They are technically overlords, but not actually overlords. Here we go. The big bust attempt at the third base. I actually think this is going to go remarkably well. Hydra's taking out all the air units, blocking the ramp. Do we have Lurker aspect upgraded?
I don't think he has it, but I don't think it matters. So. There's just so much Protoss. He completely wiped the probe line. There's still mutas in there. They're severely damaged, but there's just not any units for Dienmax. He's bleeding out. He doesn't have any storm available either, and these Templar are going to fall, and this third base is going to fall.
Yeah, this third base is not long for this world. Everything taken out, and I mean, I was really starting to think that Dienmax had gotten away with that.
Yeah, he had good saturation there. It started to kick in, but again, these mutas have just been devastating throughout the day for Dienmax. Really just turned the tide heavily in favor of Babo. And if we look at the probe line now at the main, non-existent. He's got so many at the natural. There he goes. He's going to transfer. But 2-base Protoss versus 4-base Zerg, who has 8, 9 hatches. He's got Evolution Chamber coming up, Queen's Nest. I don't think Dienmax can come back from this. And there's more mutas that have been made. And he just killed all the Sares. So now he may actually kill the Nexus.
I think he's just going to go in there and try. I mean, there's 3 cannons here. It's a lot of mutas. They are +1 carapace upgraded, not weapons upgraded. I actually really have liked when we've seen Zerg players go for the weapons upgrade first, but they will be able to kill down all, or take down all the mutas. And there is just nothing left. There's a Dragoon. So, good luck, buddy. 2 Dragoons, 3 Dragoons now, but there's nothing more to kill. Only 1 probe mining minerals in the main.
Yeah, there's just no... Oh, big hit on the Archon. Try and get that Templar.
Ooh, that's actually a pretty big storm there as well. All of these are mutas taken down below 50 health.
Yeah, it's just that the econ is so bad for Dienmax. He probably needs to try and go for a bust, because I just don't think he can really try and stabilize ever. Maybe he can get something done attacking the natural, but there's just so many Hydras on both sides. There's so many Hydras. Here we go, another big flank. Oh, don't step up there.
Ooh, Muta's off on the side, and the Hydra's coming in for the flank. Protoss army trying desperately to get back home, but ooh, I don't know if it's going to make it, Nyoken.
Yeah, this is going to be Dienmax typing out. There's just so many Hydras and no storms available. They need a couple more energy, but the Mutas have got their sights set on those Templar. It gets off, but it hits nothing. He just taps out.
Yeah. Dienmax leaving the game there. A little bit unfortunate there. I was really happy he was able to get that third base up and running, but just didn't do anything. He didn't have almost anything to deal with those mutas. They came into the main and it was like, oh wow, I just get to kill everything. Cool. Yeah, really good muta switch there, or muta tech choice by Babo. And he'll take game number 1 against Dienmax to put Dienmax 1 game away from being eliminated from the BSL.
It was a bit unlucky with the mutas because he had 4 Sares, but they were out in the middle of the map. And then as he turned around, Scourge were set up and he just got intercepted. And that bursted down 1, damaged another. And we had 3 Sares versus, 10 mutas? Really unlucky because he did have good defense versus it. But it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Sorry you're grounded, by the way, Nyoken.
But grounded?
Hey, at least yeah.
Oh, my mom's in the chat. Hello,
That's
Mom.
Right. Hi, Nyoken's mom. Big fan. Anyway, I guess that gives you more time to stay in your room and cast Starcraft with me. So, yeah, I'm not complaining. Let's get into game number 2 here and see what's going to transpire in this series. I think, I mean, CastrO obviously really impressed. Babo had some pretty solid series, but obviously he had kind of a rough start to the group. But Dienmax, I still haven't gotten a chance to see really, the hashtag power of Protoss. So let's see what happens as we get into this next game. I have just gotten into the lobby. The map is Power Bonds, so surprise guys, if you get to know one map this series, or this tournament, this season, it's going to be Power Bonds. So without further ado, let's get into it. It's Dienmax versus Babo, who is up 1-0. All right, here we are in the upper left-hand corner of the map, Power Bond. In the magenta, this is Babo.
And in the top right, we've got the Peruvian Protoss player. It is Dienmax. Are we going to see the 2-gate this time, Rapid? Are we going to risk it all on a 2-gate to not get eliminated?
I mean, I love 2-gates. It's been probably my favorite build to watch this tournament. Yeah, I guess Spawnet didn't go Reaver or 1-base Reaver, so yeah, I think it's been probably the most fun I've had. That was actually just an excellent group overall. I don't think that's Dienmax's style though, so I think we're just going to see a little bit more of the same. Cannon expand and yeah, gateways.
We do have the low ground pylon again. Probably going to send out the second probe pretty quick. And I was trying to get to it last game. Usually you don't see the probe go out this fast. Dienmax, like I said, since he's playing versus 2 other South Americans, you know that he's played versus these other players a lot. And they must 5-pool him or 4-pool him or something often, because really a 10 forge, really not common. Now this time, Dienmax got off a first scout and he sees exactly what's going on. Probably going to, oh, this was an overpool, so he should be able to get up the Nexus before the cannon, I think, versus an overpool.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I actually don't know why he's not being maybe even greedier about that, but I mean, it is going to be yeah, just a regular overpool. And I think you can pretty much just always expect Zergs to go overpool against you. It's just, I mean, sometimes we'll see like, what was the build we saw yesterday? It was like 12 pool versus Protoss.
Yesterday? Yeah, we saw 12 pool versus Protoss. We saw 12 hatch, or 12 hatch, 11 pool, and then we also saw Jayun with 11 hatch, 10 pool. And again, this time we've got La Abuela, or not La Abuela, Dienmax blocking the hatchery. And in response, Babo just takes the minor only.
I mean, that does mean, or at least kind of telegraph that, hey, he's not really looking to get that natural gas up anytime soon, so kind of limits the mutaplay options, and especially if he was going for some sort of like fast tech along those lines. Yeah, probably not in his immediate future, but I mean, there are going to be there's going to be a pylon block at the natural, so that's going to help deny it for even longer. Another oh my god, okay, wow, he is really committed. No, oh, watch him do it again.
These moves are, yeah, he really wants to deny it, which is nice, but these moves are cute. But if we look back in the main, like he doesn't have his assimilator started. I'm not sure if this is really worth it to constantly block the hatch over and over if you're just going to get your tech delayed.
Oh, coming back in. Another pylon block. You know he wants to. Hey, Lamau. Okay, finally the probe dies. But that's like, what, 4 pylon blocks?
Yeah, this was... It's definitely delayed Babo substantially. Look how many minerals he had. He had 600 a minute ago until he morphed the lair. So this third hatch is mega delayed. But as I was saying, I'm looking back in the main of Dienmax. There's no cybernetics because every time he's double pyloning, that's 200 minerals. Could have been a cyber. Assimilator just now finished. He really did commit a lot despite the cancellations to get that denial. Meanwhile, Babo's build really hasn't really changed that much. He's got his lair coming up. Sure, the third is delayed, but I don't know if that was worth it.
I mean, what about the moral, mental damage that you have done to your opponent? I always think those things are worth it. Like mana pylons, every time, go for it. But yeah, hatchery block. He did actually spend quite a bit of resources. Cancel, uncancel, cancel, uncancel. And by uncancel, I mean build. But, you know. Still a very late natural, so that's going to be a lot later on the extra larva that you would get from there. Finally, that second probe goes down. But he's got another one, oh, actually, it's a zealot out on the map, heading in to the third.
He's going to try and get some drone kills here. Lings are a bit out of position. They're actually moving farther across the map. Babo doesn't see it. This is going to be one drone going down. Nice find there. And we do have Spire coming out for Babo. Meanwhile, Dienmax this time has gotten +1 weapon on his air already started. He's definitely expecting some type of mutaplay. Zealot trying to survive as long as possible. He gets surrounded, but again, we have a Stargate opener, which is something we don't see. Well, we did, I guess it's about 50-50 now. We've seen Citadel and Stargate, but we really do see a lot more Citadel openers these days.
Yeah, and I don't think that we're going to see kind of a change to that trend, if you want to call it that. Hold up a second. And +1 coming through for those Corsairs is going to at least mean that because the hatchery was delayed, there might be a more opportunity for those to really get a lot of damage done. Taking out the Zealot before it gets into the main, obviously super important. Not going to see like Spire timing, etc. Or of course the lair, but I guess he already knows about that.
Well, here's something you don't see every day. We've got Stargate Robo at the main, and this is going to be some type of either shuttle play with maybe DT drop or Zealot drop, or it could be Reaver, and I'm always a big fan of Sarah Reaver. I think it's an underplayed build, but very micro intensive. It's going to be hard to use it against somebody like Babo, but Babo has no idea that this is Reaver, or I'm assuming it's Reaver because his Overlord went in the main, saw nothing, no Stargate, no gates. From Babo's point of view, like, what else could it be? There's got to be, I guess he would be thinking it's Reaver since he saw absolutely nothing.
That's a good point. I mean, what else could it be? There's going to be hallmarks of anything else. Shuttle on the way, and yeah, there is the support bay coming up.
Support bay, shuttle's already halfway done. I wonder if he's going to shuttle across these 4 Zealots. I'm trying to get a look at Babo's build. He's got his evolution chamber done. Hydra Den is already done. He's got good saturation in all of his bases. He's got 5 hatch. He's going to be pumping out a lot of Hydras pretty soon. And if he pokes in with these Lings like he's been doing or like he did on Gladiator, when he comes in here and sees 1 cannon, he may just try and all in this, but if he runs into a Reaver, that would put Dienmax in a pretty good position because the Reaver should just shut down everything.
Yeah, of course, obviously there are quite a few Hydras about to be on the way, but we're going to see +1 air weapons finishing up here at the exact same time. But shuttles, the shuttle speed, and Reaver should all coincide pretty perfectly, and there are more cannons being constructed back at home for Dienmax, so at least he'll try to be safe with those instead of having a bunch of Corsairs back at home.
Babo sent in another Scourge to see what's going on in the main. What did he see? Nothing. There's no gates anywhere. There's no Stargate anywhere. If I didn't think that this was going to be Robo play, I would at least send Lings all across the map because Dienmax has hidden that 3rd base. If it's not Reaver, it's got to be a hidden base. Right here come the Lings. Now he still doesn't see the shuttle because Dienmax quickly turned it around. But that's a lot of Hydras, and with the Reaver across the map, we have 1 cannon.
That seems like a low number. It's not like he didn't know that there was going to be maybe a Hydra follow-up, but yeah, he really just has not seen all that much. So here comes the Reaver in. It's going to need to deal a lot of damage because this is quite a few Hydras running into Dienmax's base. He only has 1 cannon. Obviously, the Zealots popping out are going to try to buy time, but I don't think Babo cares about them. He evaporates them instantly. And I think our boy Dienmax is going to have some horrific flashbacks of his previous series as he really just does not get to play this game at all. Reaver coming through now into the natural. Can't even drop it off yet. And there it goes. It's going to kill some drones in the mineral line. Not bad shots here. But even if it kills all of his opponent's drones, if you gain the world but lose your natural, what profiteth it a man here for Babo? And he's actually going to lose the Reaver as he gets shot down on top of the ramp. Ooh, that's about going to do it.
Yeah, just not the day for Dienmax. I did like the strategy, but the one time that Babo needed to get on the map, he did, and Dienmax was completely out of position. It sucks to lose like that because he had a really good build, but just happens.
It does. Sometimes it be like that. So sad to see Dienmax go. It was clearly not his day as he goes 0-4 but I feel like there were so many close games. I want to give him a moral victory, but as far as his actual victory, it's not there. So Dienmax is out, and Babo goes on to face CastrO for the final best of 3 to decide the second place player to advance on from this group. Now, because of the way the brackets work out, the second place player will face off against EonZerg. So whoever it is, Babo or CastrO, they better be really good at ZVZ. Because they're going to play one of the best ZVZers out there in EonZerg. So get ready. And as we're getting ready, you guys should get ready because we're going to take a quick break and then we'll come back with our next series, our last series, which will be CastrO versus Babo. All right, welcome back for the final time tonight and for quite a while, because we're going to be taking a week break from BSL. So, yeah, one last series before a couple of weeks of no more BSL. But Corrupted Cup should have you covered, so don't worry. One last series tonight, and it's going to decide the second place player to advance out of this group. We already had trutaCz, like, rocket on out to the round of 8, so he is going to be playing against, I guess, Terror in the round of 8. But coming up next, who will face off against EonZerg? Man, I don't know if either one of these players is going to be happy about that. But our final two players of the night are going to be CastrO and Babo. So Chile versus Peru, and it is going to be a ZVZ. So it's going to be fast and furious. The maps are Gladiator, Ground Zero, Power Bond. Just like my intro, also very fast. So I guess we're starting out on Gladiator. What do you think about these players, this matchup? Do you have any thoughts, Nyoken?
I'm just a big fan of Babo's meter play, so I like him a bit more than CastrO. Again, in the ZVZ, we didn't get to see much from CastrO because trutaCz just picked him apart. But if he can stabilize, he should be a force to be reckoned with. But just like Dienmax, CastrO's not having the greatest day, at least in ZVZ.
So that obviously could be unfortunate. So let's get into this game. It is on Gladiator. It is game number 1 of our final best of 3 of the night. CastrO versus Babo. The winner advances on to the round of 8. All right, here we go in the upper left hand corner of Gladiator. In the magenta, this is Babo.
In the top right, we've got the orange Zerg. It is CastrO. You know, I'm really excited for Corrupted Cup next week, not just because Mr. Ardo God is going to be there, but because if you look at the lineups, it's basically BSL in an offline tournament. Like, everybody on that list was in BSL, whether they're in Pro League or Ghost League. Like, it's just going to be a huge BSL event, essentially, except for $10,000. It's going to be pretty sick.
That's actually really important to note. So, for instance, the seeded players for Corrupted Cup were Gorinich, EonZerg, SPX, DeWalt, and I think TTF, but he's also in a group with Kogut. So every group has players that have just dominated in BSL. So it's just absolutely insanely stacked. Also, if you compare it to the previous 20th anniversary event, which was run there by Russ Brain as well, it's almost the same, like, top 8 players, with the exception of no Korean players. Because Gorinich and SPX were the highest placing non-Korean players. And the highest placing Russian player was, or the highest placing non-Russian player was actually, I think, Ariador, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. It's just gonna be such a sick tournament. We've got all the top players from around the world: Bonneth, Yeti, DeWalt, Kogut, like Dandy, trutaCz, EonZerg, BlancerX, SPX, Terror. Ugh, disgusting. So good. So definitely make sure to tune into Corrupted Cup next week. But hey, to talk about the game at hand, Babo versus CastrO. Just now seeing the hatchery come down for CastrO, whereas Babo's was obviously much earlier.
Yeah, we had 12 pool opener for CastrO, 12 hatch opener for Babo. And both players did not get a first scout off, so they don't have any reads just yet. But somehow Babo's Overlord seems, well, actually, because of the positions, CastrO's actually going to be able to get to see the natural before Babo can either see the main or the net. So there's a slight advantage for him there. I also do like CastrO's position a little bit more for the opener, despite it being a 12 hatch. He's gone for speed this time. I think this is the first time we've seen someone open speed first. We've seen lair openers almost throughout the entire day. And Babo, I guess he knows CastrO's style because he's already got a drone set up here like it wants to build a sunken.
Yeah, there it goes. Wow. Super sick read there by Babo. That's exactly what you want. So it's going to be very well prepared. Link speed about 3/4 of the way done, and instantly morphing into a sunken colony here. Wow, that's actually crazy.
Yeah, you don't really see players just blind build a sunken. ZVZ, you need to get as many drones as possible while also managing your link count. But this is a good read from CastrO, and I like how Babo has hidden the lings. He's just now showing 6. And now CastrO's not really going to be able to get much done. He built 10 lings. His lair is slightly slower than Babo's, but basically the spire is going to be the exact same timing. And CastrO's continuing to build lings. Now, we already saw trutaCz cut lings. I wonder if Babo will do the same.
Let's wait and watch. Speed actually on the way here for Babo too. So obviously he's gotten his lair already, which is really interesting to me because usually when you see players build a lair, you then see a spire afterwards. But instead, he went lair into speed. And I'm like, interesting strategy. But obviously, yeah, there is the spire. And it's basically at the same time as CastrO's.
Well, CastrO, I think, is going to attack because he just put down his spire, but he was building lings nonstop. And Babo's lings are in production, but they're not out just yet. There's a lot of lings for CastrO, like 24 versus maybe 16. Here we go. Is the sunken in a good enough position? I don't know.
He's going to start to attack it down about half HP, but got to stop the lings from getting into the main, and he does pull back just in the nick of time. Great defense there by Babo.
A really good defense from Babo, and now he's the one that wants to put on some counter pressure. He's got 11 lings versus 5. Meanwhile, he has not cut lings at all. He's just got them rallied to the natural, and there's nothing there. He's trying to get up a sunken. He just leaves.
What? No. No. Oh, wow. That's the fastest. That's when you practice leaving games that fast. Like, that is when you, oh my God. He's got that hot code, or that hot key coded into his brain. He's got like a macro set up on his mouse button to leave a game that fast. What the, wow. If you guys are subbed to STPL, we have a 6-minute curse emoji or emote there. That was like 5 minutes and 15 seconds. He was out of there. He like fell over in his chair. That was so fast. Damn. Okay, well, that's game number 1, Nyoken.
Yeah, like he didn't even try to hold it. This is a tournament too. Like this is the deciding match. So I don't know, maybe just CastrO's out of it today. It's not a good sign when you're just like insta leaving, no GG. That's like a bad mindset to have. So I'm a bit worried for him.
I also am a bit worried for him. Also outside of Starcraft, but also inside Starcraft as well now. Somebody check on him, make sure he's okay. This is a rough series. But hey, it's only game number 1. Plenty of time for a comeback, right, Nyoken? Right? Convince the fans that they're...
They need your energy. CastrO needs it. He's from Peru, right? He needs the Peru power to make it out.
Only because of rotating brownouts in the country. But yes, also your emotional power as well. Maybe he's tired of... never mind. We're getting into game number 2 on Ground Zero. So obviously a much different map style than Gladiator. Let's do it. Game number 2 between CastrO and Babo. Babo 1 game away from advancing on to the round of 8. All right, here we go. In the upper left-hand corner, in the light pink, this is CastrO.
And in the bottom left, in the hot pink, it is Babo. And someone in the chat just mentioned Phoenix. Now, that's a name I haven't seen in a while, and that's someone that I wish would actually play again. I don't think he plays right now, but he is a South American Terran that was really good. He was also in ByClan, which ByClan, if you make it into ByClan, you know that you've made it basically, because that team has how many pros? Like endless amounts of pros. Almost everybody that made it into ByClan became a pro. So I would like to see Phoenix come back if he hasn't already come back. Now, he is a little bit of a dirty race picker. I think he played Protoss versus Terran, but he was a very strong player.
Yeah. No, Phoenix was insane. Phoenix got picked up by Fnatic, right? For a while.
Yeah, Fnatic Phoenix.
Yeah, that guy was a monster. The Slorum just saying that he doesn't play anymore. But yeah, I think we all wish that he would come back. We gotta like, I forget, there was a video, or there's a superhero movie where like the superheroes like stop being superheroes and they all go get real jobs, and there's this quest to like go around and find all of the superheroes now that they all have real jobs and like get them to come back and save the world. And that's kind of like what we need to do with Brood War, to like go get all the old Brood War players to come back and start playing Starcraft again, so that we can have this revival, keep it going. Somebody hunt down Phoenix at the 7-Eleven he's working at now, or wherever he's mining coal. I don't know what old StarCraft players do. I guess apparently most of them play poker, but if you're not doing that, then I don't know what you're doing. So we gotta go find him, get him to start playing again. That would be so sick. Oh.
Yeah, it would be really sick. We especially need more Terrans, more Terrans, less Zerg, more Terran Rapid. But in this game, we've got an aggro build from Babo, mixing it up. Remember, he went 12 hatch last game, so this is a completely different style. Meanwhile, CastrO, what is this build? Because he has no drones, yet he has an in-base hatch, yet he has gas, and he has a pool already. Is this like a 999 build almost, is what it looks like?
I think it was 10 hatch. Usually you 10 hatch at another, your natural, but I think this is just Zerg Rush, right? Zergling, like just mass Zergling flood.
This is a very weird opener. This is, and he's getting there. I thought for sure, just based on how fast this hatch was, that it was just gonna be mass lings, but I guess he's gonna transition out of it. I may have just read this completely wrong. I don't know, but Babo, he's got his Spire coming up pretty soon. Lair's about to finish. Meanwhile, CastrO's about halfway along with the Lair, and he's doing what he does every time. He's not going to try and push the issue with lings. He's just building drones.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for at least the time being, we're gonna put a pin in this CastrO build analysis. I just want to see what this greatness is that it's before my eyes, because we're getting not only the macro hatch, we're getting Zergling speed and a Lair. So I'm gonna let Jesus take the wheel on CastrO's build. On the other side, I think it makes a little bit more sense to just see Spire on the way, macro hatch coming in afterwards at a normal timing, and they should both pop with 6 larvae ready to go for mutas once the Spire finishes.
Actually, CastrO is building more lings, and I don't know if he'll actually be able to get... Well, he does have a lot of lings just like he did last time, but Babo gonna have the ramp advantage. He's consistently building lings himself out of 1 hatch. I really don't think that this is gonna work. And is speed even done? Okay, speed just kicked in, but still. Oh, well, Babo, he needs to get his lings on the ramp. He sees it coming. There he goes. I don't think he's gonna lose this fight. He should be good to go. His Spire's almost done also. CastrO Spire is far along too, though. Ooh, there's a gas rapid.
I saw that. I was about to say, I was like that. I know after watching that first series what a gap in a Zergling concave at the top of a ramp looks like, Nyokin. Can he find it? If this were trutaCz, he'd have teleported his lings into the enemy main base. He researches like a blink upgrade for these Zerglings. I don't know. Let's see if he can break through. Surprisingly, it's not trutaCz playing, so the lings actually have to fight each other.
Yeah, and really nice. Oh, Muta comes out just in time, and I guess a little bit of a misstep there. The arc was not consistent throughout, and now there's a lot of lings into the main, but the The building placement is fantastic. Drone should be able to drill easily. Still no drone kill. He went in and tried to get a couple on the extractor, but was not able to get any of the drones.
Wow, that's amazing. And you're right, it is just mass lings coming out of CastrO. He does have mutas on the way, but not as many as you'd expect because he spent so many larvae getting these lings out. However, they have dodged all the overlords, and so Babo has no idea mass lings are about to flood into his base. There's only one muta left at home.
Yeah, Babo's in big time trouble now because his mutas are way out of position. This is a lot of lings. He can easily kill this Sunken. We've got to have perfect drone drilling. That's pretty good right there.
Not good enough to save the Sunken, though. Or is it? Yes, hello? A 1 HP Sunken. It finally goes down. The mutas come home. They kill off the Zerglings. And the day is saved at 11 drones apiece. And now, well, it's only some Scourge that CastrO's going to have to deal with. But he doesn't have too many mutas for sure.
Yeah, it's so hard to micro with only 3 mutas versus Scourge. He's trying, no, one connects. And now he's down to 2, and that's going to be even harder. Oh, no.
Oh, man. Whew, that really hurts. CastrO already at a muta deficit. Now he loses 2 mutas to 4 Scourge. Ugh. Babo in such a strong position. And you notice he's keeping his mutas closer to his base because he knows CastrO's going to have to come at him. If you come at the king, you best not miss. CastrO really playing this well.
Babo with really good muta control, really good positioning, picks off lings before they can even get close to his main. And meanwhile, he's just slowly building up that muta count. He's at 7. CastrO's in big time trouble. He's got a bunch of Scourge, but he just doesn't have the mutas right now. He's scrambling to get up just one more for now, but he's gas starved. He just can't build mutas. So as long as these ling counterattacks don't deal crippling game-ending damage, Babo's primed to take it.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's actually in a fantastic position right now. I mean, aside from him pretty much always being in that position, he's got an 8, now 9 mutas, and ooh, this is going to be so difficult. Now, CastrO's got some lings hidden out on the map, so maybe he'll be able to backstab with that. There's also the little drone that could out in the middle of the map, so I'm not sure what CastrO has in store for that guy.
Here we go. The mutas have finally felt confident to move out. Babo has left some lings back at his base to make sure there's no ling shenanigans that will basically get CastrO back into the game. But how does CastrO win this fight? It's 6 mutas versus 9. There is a lot of Scourge, but he needs to have every single Scourge connect. Oh, here we go. That's a good connection. He got 2. Oh, but the Scourge kill each other.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, that's going to do it. The more mutas versus less mutas. We all know how that works out. So yeah, a little bit of muta micro. I don't actually think you should muta micro, but I guess that's kind of style points at this point. Because he does have 4 mutas left over. No defense, that's going to do it. CastrO taps out, and Babo will take the 2-0 to be our second player to advance on to the round of 8.
Yeah, Babo making it out, and he looks really good in ZVZ. So nicely done. He looked good versus Dienmax also. His ZVP was on point. So he's going to be a strong competitor moving forward, but he's got a very strong opponent in EonZerg. So that's going to be tough for him to make it to the round of 4.
Yeah, for sure. This is sort of a Pyrrhic victory. It's like, yes, I won, and now I get to face one of the best non-Korean players in the world. Also, one of the best gods of ZVZ out there. Like, EonZerg ZVZ is just almost perfect. It's so crazy. He's so good at that matchup. He's like beating Korean players out here when he was training and playing. It was scary. Like, I watched him beat, I forget who he beat on stream, but they were streaming it, and the guy turned his stream off after he lost. It was terrible. Oh, crazy good. It was so sick. Anyway, lots to look forward to in the round of 8. Thank you guys for sticking with us through the round of 24, round of 16. We're going to be taking a break from BSL for the Corrupted Cup, which is next weekend. I've been talking about it all during this broadcast. It's going to be so hyped. If you like the players who are competing in BSL, basically all of the best players from BSL are playing in the Corrupted Cup. It's a WCG-style tournament with the best players from all over the world outside Korea. And it's going to be such an incredible tournament. 6 days of Starcraft action. It's not all of 6 days or the tournament itself, but it's going to be a really, really cool multi-day tournament. I cannot wait. It's going to be so sick. So definitely watch that, and make sure to come back the week after next, because then we'll be kicking off the BSL Season 7 round of 8. That's going to be best of 5. That's going to be really sick series between just the best players out there. You do not want to miss it. It's going to be so good. But if you did miss any of the action this season, you can go back and check that out on YouTube. You can see the link to that YouTube channel being posted in chat right now. If you're watching it through the VOD, well, congratulations, you found them. So definitely either watch the old VODs, watch the Corrupted Cup next weekend, or watch BSL in a couple of weeks, because that's going to be basically the best Brood War out there. Also, KSL starts right after BSL gets back. So much great Brood War out there. And it's all going to be amazing. So thank you so much for supporting BSL. If you want to continue to support BSL, you can hit the follow button up below. Down below is a link to patreon.com/bombastic, which helps you support the BSL there. You can donate in chat. You can subscribe if you feel so led, or you can just tell your friends on social media. Make sure to tag @BombasticStar on Twitter and Bombastic Star League on Facebook to let everybody know what you are talking about. But otherwise, you guys have been great. It's been so cool to have like 300, 350 viewers for today's stream. And of course, a big thanks to the BSL Patreons who have already supported the BSL on patreon.com/bombastic. Ezo Striker, ARG Sabbath, Kamshak, Moontang, Spacewalk, and Lingen Pump. There we go. So yeah, big thanks to those guys. Big thanks to Nyoken for casting with me, to Zero for working everything behind the scenes, to everyone who works on the BSL staff behind the scenes. There's so many people helping make this a big success. Of course, a big thanks to Blizzard for sponsoring $1,000 for the BSL Season 7 prize pool, and many more BSLs to come after this. So yeah, we're not going anywhere. Oh man, what a day, Nyoken. I can't wait for Corrupted Cup. I can't wait for more BSL. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Corrupted Cup. People, like I said earlier, it's going to be all the BSL players, but also it's offline. So don't just think that, oh, trutaCz is going to be there, EonZerg is going to be there. You know, these 4 people guaranteed to win. This is offline. Offline is completely different from being online. You're not in your comfort zone. There's going to be people there that have nothing to lose. So for sure, we could see a lot of upsets. Maybe my boy Ardo makes it to the finals. That would be the dream. So make sure you watch that, because it's going to be sick.
It is going to be sick. Yeah. Dude, I was talking to trutaCz. He's like measuring stuff out. He's got this blow up cushion just in case the seat's not at exactly the right height. He can just like make it perfect. We've got strats the world has never seen coming out from trutaCz in this tournament. So make sure to tune in. It's going to be a blast. And BSL itself has just been a blast. So make sure to tune back in the week after next. So yeah, thanks to everybody for watching. Going to see you in a couple weeks for more BSL. Go watch Corrupted Cup next weekend, and yeah, I'll see you there. So thanks everybody.